Time magazine featured it. Life magazine photographed it. People everywhere stayed home to hear it. And here's the College Quiz Bowl with Alan Ludden as master of the quiz. Because of unprecedented interest in these exciting contests between college teams of four from coast to coast, the National Broadcasting Company is rebroadcasting the best games of this unusual series. And so tonight, by transcription, you will hear Oberlin College, the team that toppled the all-time Quiz Bowl champs Minnesota last week, fight it out with Mount Holyoke College from their respective campuses at Oberlin, Ohio, and South Hadley, Massachusetts. And now, let's meet the teams. First, the team members from Mount Holyoke.
Betsy Winters, Summit, New Jersey.
Myra Mullins, Birmingham, Alabama.
Barbara Clickstein, Medford, Massachusetts.
Ellen Richards, Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Jim Strong of station WTIC in Hartford, Connecticut will be the Mount Holyoke referee. And here's the quartet from Oberlin College.
Dave Jeunesse, Williamstown, Massachusetts.
Bert Sonnenfeld, New York, New York.
David Mitten, Stowe, Ohio.
Whit Slater, Rocky River, Ohio.
The Oberlin referee is Jerry Liebman of station WTAM in Cleveland.
Okay, now how about those rules, Roger?
Right, Alan, and here they are. Alan Ludden asks a toss-up question worth 10 points. And the first team to signal it knows the answer gets a chance to answer it. When Oberlin College signals, you'll hear... And when Mount Holyoke College signals, you'll hear... By means of a special electronic selector, the team which signals first, even by a split second, activates its light here in New York City and makes it impossible for the other team's light to flash. If a team gives a wrong answer to the toss-up question, the other team is given a chance to answer it. And whichever team gives the right answer gets a bonus question worth a stated number of points. The team with the most points at the end of the game is the winner and returns next week to defend its title in the College Quiz Bowl.
Thank you, Roger. Now remember, teams, you may interrupt a toss-up question before I've finished asking it, but if you do, and if your answer is wrong, your team's going to be penalized 5 points, and I'll repeat the question, giving the other team a free crack at it, okay? Those are the rules. And there's the opening whistle, so let's go. Your first toss-up tonight could earn you a chance at a 40. I repeat, 40-point bonus. Here's the toss-up. For 10 points, quote, the line of verse that immediately precedes this passage, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to. Mount Holyoke.
This above all, to thine own self be true.
Right, for 10 points. Mount Holyoke, you started out hot there. You got a 40-point bonus coming up. Okay, now this one calls for a bit of imagination. Where, if it were possible, would you be apt to see the following pairs of people together? Now, this calls for imagination, and remember I said if it were possible. First of all, where would you possibly see Joseph Welch and Sidney Carton?
In a law court.
Paris?
In a law court or a courtroom, that's right. You got it right for 10 points. Carton, of course, was the fictional lawyer in Dixon's Tale of Two Cities, and Welch, of course, was the Army's lawyer in the McCarthy hearing. All right. Where it possible, would you see Pudge Heffelfinger and Frank Merriwell?
Yale.
That's right. At Yale. And I imagine you girls at Holyoke are familiar with that campus. Here we go. Where would you see Pere Marquette and Gaylord Ravenel?
In the Mississippi?
Right, for 10 points. Where would you see Captain Nemo and Auguste Picard?
Down under the sea.
Right, for 10 points, and you got them all, by golly. All right, here we go with another toss-up question. And coming up next is another 40-point bonus. Now, for this toss-up, I want an answer and an explanation why. You got that? An answer and an explanation why, and I want them to come right together. Now, if you attended a party where people who practice dactylology would you expect the party to be a noisy one or a quiet one? Mount Holyoke. Barbara
It'll be a
Clickstein.
quiet one because it's talking with your hands.
That's right, for 10 points. It would be a quiet one because they would be talking with their hands, which is what dactylology is. Well, you got another 40-point bonus here, Mount Holyoke. Now, the Treaty of Versailles concluded the First World War as far as the Allied powers in Germany were concerned. For 10 points apiece, I want you to name the treaties that concluded the following wars. First of all, the 30 Years' War.
Treaty of Utrecht, wasn't it?
Is that your answer? No.
Paris?
No, I'm sorry. It was not. It was the Treaty of Westphalia, 1649. The War of the Spanish Succession.
The Treaty of Paris.
No, I think that was the Treaty of Utrecht.
I think that is right for 10 points. The Treaty of Utrecht, 1713. All right. The Spanish-American War.
Oh, gosh.
That was the Treaty of Paris. 1898. I'm sorry. Okay. The Mexican War.
Oh,
With 2 words.
Yeah. Quick.
where, Ellen?
I don't know.
The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, 1848. Okay, now before we move along to another toss-up question, let's find out what the stakes are in this quiz game, Roger.
Each week, Good Housekeeping magazine will award to the school of the winning team a $500 gift to be administered by the college. It may go to a scholarship fund or to a campus activity. And each member of the losing team will receive an attractive, dependable Whitnor wristwatch, a distinguished member of the Longines Whitnor family of fine watches. Since 1866, maker of watches of the highest character. Well, those are the stakes. Now, with 19 and a half minutes to go, the score, Mount Holyoke 70, Oberlin nothing. Let's go back to another toss-up question now.
And the bonus question coming up is worth 30 points. Here's your toss-up. For 10 points, what experience did Catherine Howard, Catherine Parr, and Mount Holyoke?
Myra Mullins.
They were all beheaded by Henry VIII.
Oh, wow.
They were all wives of
All right.
his.
Wait, hold it. I'm going to penalize you 5 points, Mount Holyoke. You interrupted a question you did not answer properly. So here we go. For Oberlin, you're penalized 5 points. That's right. Complete the question for Oberlin. For 10 points, what experience did Catherine Howard, Catherine Parr, and Catherine of Aragon have in common?
They were all wives of Henry VIII.
That's right. They were all wives of Henry VIII. 10 points for Oberlin. They were not all beheaded. They were not all beheaded. I have to take on a toss-up question the first answer as I hear it. Okay, now, Oberlin, here's your bonus question worth 30 points. It's a question on words starting with the letter Z. XYZ. Now, for 5 points apiece, give me a word starting with Z which is a mild oath.
Down.
Right, for 5 points. We work fast on these 5-pointers. The west wind.
Zephyr.
5 points. A fanatical person.
Zealot.
Right, for 5 points. A buffoon. Zany. A popular character in horror movies.
Zombie.
Right, for 5 points. A gypsy. Zingaro. Okay, scoring time, Roger.
Right now, Alan, we have 18 minutes to go. Oberlin has 30 points. Mount Holyoke has 65.
Okay, we go now with a 30-point musical bonus coming up. For 10 points. What would you be most wise to swallow, spray, or suck? Dichlorodiphenyl trichlorothane. Oberlin.
Which later? Swallow.
Can you take it, Holyoke?
Yes, Ellen Richards.
Spray.
Right, spray. What is dichlorodiphenyl trichlorothane?
Isn't it an insecticide?
Yeah, it's DDT. Okay. Here is your musical bonus worth 30 points, Mount Holyoke. With you girls at Holyoke and the men selected for the team from Oberlin competing tonight, it seemed quite logical that we ought to hark back a few days to Valentine's Day and come up with some kind of musical question dealing with hearts. So here's your chance to identify 3 very familiar heart songs, and you'll get 10 points each time you do it. All right, tell me the title of this one. Mount Holyoke? What's the title of that? It's got heart in it. You don't know it?
I gave my heart to you.
No. Jerry Martin's Wonderful My Heart Belongs to Daddy, all right? What's this one?
Heart of...
Hurry! Quick!
Heart... Oh, damn.
Hearts of Stone!
Heart of...
Oh, all right, what's this one? Maybe you'll get this one.
Deep in my heart.
Right, for 10 points. Okay, scoring time, Roger.
Right now, we have 16 minutes to go. Oberlin has 30 points. Mount Holyoke has 85 points.
All right, we got a 30-point bonus coming up. Here's your toss-up for 10 points. Complete this relationship question. Judas was to Jesus as Ganelon was to whom? No takers? Roland. Judas was the betrayer of Jesus, and Ganelon was the betrayer of Roland in the Song of Roland. Oh, you knew that. All right, here we go with a 30-point bonus still coming up. What nursery rhyme was evidently written in a pluvial period? Oberlin.
Bert Sonnenfeld.
Rain, rain, go away. Come
Right.
again another day.
That's right. Here you go, Oberlin, with a 30-point bonus. Now, you know, in Oberlin, the names of famous grandsons of 3 famous grandfathers have been much in the news lately. For 10 points apiece, see if you can identify the following. First of all, this man's grandfather served as vice president under Grover Cleveland.
Adlai Stevenson.
Right, for 10 points. This man's grandfather was Secretary of State under Benjamin Harrison.
Dulles.
Right.
John Foster Dulles.
Work as a team. Let me hear you work. Anybody can answer on a bonus question. John Foster Dulles, right, for 10 points. This man's grandfather served on the Supreme Court bench for more than a generation.
Harlan.
Harlan, right, for 10 points. Time now, Roger.
14 and a half minutes to go. Mount Holyoke has 85 points. Oberlin has 70 points.
All right, and here is oh, it's getting close. All right, this is a musical toss-up. This is a musical toss-up. The music you're about to hear is a symphony. You are to signal as soon as you can identify it by its title and composer. Oberlin.
Bert Sonnenfeld.
Classical Symphony by Prokofiev.
Right for 10 points. Honest to goodness. I had no idea. So soon he got it. All right, it's a mathematical bonus you earned by that, Bert Sonnenfeld. Get out your paper and pencils, Oberlin. You're to take the year that the Civil War ended.
1865.
Multiply by the number of the heaven which in the Mohammedan religion is the highest abode of bliss.
7.
And subtract the dollar value of a sawbuck.
Sawbuck 5.
And for 30 points, give me your numerical answer.
3. Let's see.
The state the Civil War ended, multiply by the number of the heaven, subtracted the dollar value of the sawbuck. You got it?
60, 13. 55.
Oh, this
What? Okay, 1350. 13,050.
All right, quickly, I need an answer.
13,050.
Oh, no, 13,045. A sawbuck is 10. A sawbuck. $10 is a sawbuck. Oh, the slang language isn't too good out there. All right, here we go. Scoring time, Roger.
Right now we have 13 minutes to go. Mount Holyoke has 85. Oberlin trails by only 5 points with a score of 80.
And a 30-point bonus is coming up. For 10 points, tell us. What is the name of the time in reference to which all other time around the world is set? Oberlin.
Dave Jeanette. Greenwich.
Right, for 10 points. Greenwich Mean Time or Greenwich Time. All right, here's another chance at a bonus question. This is a 3-part bonus question on beverages. We're just going to talk about them, not drink them. All right, 10 points for each correct answer. Who was the famous Greek that drank cow's bane on purpose?
Mithridates?
Socrates.
Socrates is right for 10 points. Cow's bane is another name for poisoned hemlock, you know. All right, here we go. Who was the philosopher-poet who thought that the staff of life to eat, the fermented juice of grapes to drink, and the company of his girlfriend made an unbeatable
Omar
combination?
Khayyam?
That's right, Omar Khayyam. It'd go for bread, a jug of wine, and dal from the Rubaiyat. Okay. 10 more points if you can tell me in what poem does a character complain, water, water, everywhere.
Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
All right, you did it.
Hold it, Alan. That's the halftime whistle, which calls for a 1-minute timeout. Before we continue with tonight's game, I'd like to remind you that the contest you are hearing actually took place last February. And so questions and allusions to current events then are not so current now. But they are included to make this rebroadcast game complete. Now, with 8.5 minutes to go, the score, Oberlin 120, Mount Holyoke 85. Back to the game and our master of the quiz, Alan Ludden.
And a 20-point bonus is coming up. Here's your toss-up. Move along. Here we go. A 20-point bonus is coming up. This is the toss-up for 10 points. Identify the wildflower that sounds like it might be open work belonging to the daughter of James II. Mount Holyoke.
Betsy Winters.
Queen Anne's lace.
Right for 10 points. All right, here we go, Mount Holyoke. 20-point bonus. Now, for 20 points, I want the girls from Mount Holyoke to explain what is technically wrong with this statement. A little boy hit a light bulb with his BB gun, and as a result, the light bulb exploded.
Well,
The light bulb wouldn't explode.
What would it do?
It would just go out.
No, I don't think it would even go out, would it?
It's a non-explosive gas inside it.
No, I'm sorry.
It wouldn't go out at all, would it?
No, what would it do?
It would break the glass.
No, I'm waiting for
So
you.
it
and
will
you
go
did...
in?
No, I'm sorry. You did not make the 20 points. I was waiting for you to say it would implode or would go in. It would go inward.
She said go in at the end.
But after I had said it, huh?
No.
No, before that.
Mr. McGregor, what's the rule?
They said go in before you did.
All right. Mr. McGregor rules that you said it before I said it, so Holyoke got the 20 points. You said go in. All right, here we go. A 30-point musical bonus is coming up. A 30-point musical bonus is coming up. Here's your toss-up for 10 points. In what modern country would you be if you visited the city that Wordsworth described as the eldest child of liberty? Holyoke.
Ellen Richards.
Italy.
Right, for 10 points. The city, of course, was Venice. All right, Holyoke, here's a multiple-choice musical bonus for you worth 30 points. 4 composers who have written very popular gypsy music are Franz Lehar, Victor Herbert, Emmerich Kallman, and Johann Strauss Jr. Now, we're going to play 3 familiar gypsy melodies, and you're to tell us which of these 4 gentlemen wrote each. I'll accept only the first 3 names that you give, so work as a team. All right, tell me which of those 4 gentlemen wrote this.
Oh, that's Herbert, I believe.
That's right, for 10 points. Herbert. Play gypsy love song. All right, which of those 4 gentlemen wrote this? You have only 20 seconds on it. No. One name only. Franz Lehar, no. And it was Emmerich Kallman. All right? Which of those 4 gentlemen wrote this? You have a choice.
Was it Strauss?
Nope.
No,
It was
Lehar.
Lehar. Oh, out of 2, you got. Okay, you got 10 points on that. A 20-point bonus is coming up. Here's your toss-up. This man was the first engineering officer ever to achieve the rank of a 4-star general. In a famous quote, he once claimed, quote, "The impossible we do at once." Mount Holyoke.
Ellen Richards.
General Somerville.
Right, for 10 points. He said the impossible we do at once, the miraculous takes a little longer. Okay, Mount Holyoke, you've got a 20-point bonus here. You know, women seem to think that men are vain, and some poets seem to agree. Now, I'm going to describe 2 gentlemen celebrated in poems, and you're going to earn 20 points, 10 points apiece, if you can identify them both. First of all, this man was worried that people might say his arms and legs were thin and his head was slightly bald.
Oh, that's not Father William, is it? No. Who is it? Oh, gosh.
Was that Poe?
Time is called. J. Alfred Prufrock and T.S. Eliot's the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Okay, this man must have been vain about his dress, as he described as having a French cocked hat. He is described as having, incidentally.
The highwayman?
What?
The highwayman?
That's right. I hadn't even quoted it yet, but that's right. The Highwayman, an Alfred Noyes poem. Score and time, Roger.
Right now, we have 4 minutes to go. Oberlin has 120 points, and Mount Holyoke has 155 points.
A 20-point bonus is in the offing. 2 great leaders in the Western Hemisphere were called, respectively, the Liberator and the Emancipator. For 10 points, who were they? Oberlin.
Which leader? Simon Bolivar was the liberator, and the emancipator was Abraham Lincoln.
That's right, for 10 points. Here's a 20-point bonus, Oberlin. For 20 points, Oberlin, I want you to complete this relationship question. Dolly was to James Madison as Peggy Shippen was to whom?
Jackson?
Oh, you can work as a team on this.
Peggy Shippen, she was the wife of, not Adams.
Benedict Arnold. Did you hear Benedict Arnold in the background? I thought I did.
Yes, sir, we did.
All right, I take the right answer. Here's on the bonus question. Here we go. You'll help me if you'll speak up on these bonus questions. Come out with definitive answers.
louder.
All right, here we go. 25-point bonus in the offing. Here's your toss-up. For 10 points, tell us, what did Jenny do when we met? Holyoke.
Ellen Richards.
Jenny kissed me.
That's right, for 10 points. All right, Mount Holyoke, here's your bonus question. Oscar Wilde, 25 points this is worth, 25 points. Oscar Wilde, Henry James, and James Joyce all wrote novels, the titles of which began with the same word. Now, little words don't count. These novels began with the same word. Now, for 25 points, you're to name all three of these novels, work as a team. You'll get 25 points only if you name all three.
Portrait of a Lady by
Portrait
James.
of a Lady by James.
Portrait of the Artist Young Man is Joyce.
And Oscar Wilde.
Portrait of Dorian Gray.
Right, for 25 points. You got all three. All right, we're in time, Roger.
Right now, Alan, we have a minute and a half to go. Mount Holyoke has 190 points. Oberlin has 140 points.
All right, the 20-point bonus is coming up. For 10 points, tell us, what United States city has the same name as a kind of wild ox? Oberlin.
David Mitten. Biden.
Can you take it, Holyoke?
Wild ox?
Musk.
Oh, Buffalo. Buffalo. All right, here we go with another toss-up question. The bonus question of 20 points is coming up. This word is the first name of a famous 17th century theologian. A kind of king. And a colloquial... Cotton is right for 10 points. That's the answer I'm taking. Oberlin. I'll take it on the buzzer. Here you go. 20 points, Oberlin. Here's a quick two-part bonus question. 10 points for each part you answer correctly. First, if you sail down the Danube River, what sea would you sail into?
Black Sea.
Right, for 10 points. Now, if you sail down the Dnieper River, what sea would you sail into?
Caspian.
That's the Dnieper. D-N-E-I-P-E-R.
Sea of Arabia.
Deeper. No, the Black Sea. All right. I said it before you did. All right, 10 points on that. 15-point bonus coming up. Here's your toss-up. Uther Pendragon's little boy became a famous man when he grew up. Oberlin.
David Mitten. King Arthur.
Right, for 10 points. I was going to ask you who his son was. 10 points for Oberlin.
And that's it, Alan. I'm sorry. The game is over for this week. The final score in the College Quiz Bowl is, tonight, 170 points for Oberlin and 190 points for Mount Holyoke, the winner. To each member of the Oberlin team, it's our pleasure to award an attractive and dependable Whitnauer wristwatch, a distinguished member of the Longines Whitnauer family of fine watches. Since 1866, makers of watches of the highest character. For fielding the winning team tonight, Mount Holyoke College will receive a $500 gift from Good Housekeeping magazine to be administered by the college. And these varsity scholars from Mount Holyoke will return next week to compete in the new All-American quiz game with the varsity scholars of Notre Dame University in South Bend, Indiana. Now, before everybody faints, here once again, your Alan Ludden.
Okay, I want to congratulate Mount Holyoke College, and I want to say to those remarkable young men out at Oberlin College, Dave Janess, Dave Mitten, Whit Slater, and Bert Sonnenfeld, you were simply magnificent. It's one of the tightest games we've ever had here, and I think one of the most exciting games we've ever had here in the College Quiz Bowl. Oberlin, it's been great having you. Next week, Mount Holyoke meets, of all things, Notre Dame. The following weeks, we're going to have varsity scholars here from Colgate University, Columbia University, and many other outstanding colleges and universities throughout the United States. So I urge you to be with us next week and every week for an exciting quiz game here in the College Quiz Bowl. Now, this is Alan Ludden saying so long, everybody.
The referees tonight were Jim Strong of station WTIC in Hartford, Connecticut for Mount Holyoke College, and Jerry Liebman of station WTAM in Cleveland for Oberlin. Listen to the transcribed College Quiz Bowl next week when Mount Holyoke meets Notre Dame University, and they come up against this question.
For 10 points, what phrase originated as a typing exercise might serve equally well as a slogan for either the Democratic or Republican Party?
Well, what do you think the answer is? Which team do you think will win? Tune in next week for the answers to both of these questions, and join us for all the other rebroadcasts of the most exciting games in this famous series. College Quiz Bowl is the transcribed NBC Radio Network presentation, originated and produced by John Moses and Don Reed, written by Nancy Phobes and directed by Ken McGregor. This is Roger Tuttle speaking.
Is it animal or mineral? Is it a living American man?
Could I hear it at the opera?
Is it as big as a bowling ball?
Would it match one of Crosby's shirts?
Yes, everyone is playing 20 questions. And here's Bill Slater.
Thank you, and hello, everyone. Welcome to 20 Questions. And here's how you play the game with us. You listeners send in subjects our questioners try to discover in 20 questions or fewer. If your subject is used, you win a year's subscription to Pageant Magazine free. And if your subject can't be named within 20 questions, you get the magazine free the rest of your life, plus a grand surprise prize. In case of duplication or similarity, the decision of our judges will be final, and all entries become our property. A mystery voice off stage in a soundproof booth will tell you all at home what the subject is, while our studio guests here will know from a board that they alone can see. In other words, everybody will be in on the secret except our 5 eager questioners. And reading from left to right, our questioners are Fred Vandeventer, well-known New York newscaster, Florence Renard, musician and teacher, Bobby McGuire, amazing 14-year-old schoolboy, Herb Palazzi, radio and motion picture producer, and our special guest tonight is one of America's favorite screen and stage stars, Mr. Francis Lederer. Well, welcome to 20 Questions, Mr. Lederer, and let's get going here on a subject that was contrived by Melvin Burnett, whose home is in York Village in the state of Maine. This subject is animal.
This is the mystery voice. I'm telling the radio audience only that Bill's subject is the Easter Bunny.
Okay, you people at home have been told. The studio audience knows what it is. Let's go. Vandeventer?
Is it a living American man?
It is not a living American man. Mr. Palazzi?
Is it an animal in children's literature?
It's an animal in children's literature, yes. Miss Renard?
Is it in a rhyme rather than a story?
No, it's in both rhymes and stories, mostly in stories. That's 3 questions. Vandeventer?
Is it a 4-footed animal?
It's a 4-footed animal. Yep. Miss Renard?
Is it one particular animal we're after?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There are lots of versions of it, but it's one particular animal. Bobby?
Is it of the canine family?
Dog?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. I hate to be so dogmatic, but it isn't. No. That's 6 questions. Mr. Palazzi?
Is it in the deer family? And I'm not getting personal.
No. No, it's not in the deer family. Vandeventer?
Is this animal in its natural state edible?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Can be et. Miss Renard?
Is it a cow?
No, I'm sorry. You must think of eating other things than cows. Eat cows, you get
Eat what I can get these days.
Yes, of course. Mr. Palazzi?
Is it a nice horse?
No, it's not a nice horse.
We don't eat horses.
No, I should say not. Vandeventer?
Is it a lamb or of the sheep family?
It's not of the sheep family, and that's 11 questions. Bobby?
Is it of the hog family?
No, it's not of the hog family. That's 12 questions. We only have 8 to go. There'll be a lot of people disappointed if you don't get this animal. Mr. Palazzi?
Well, is it a very small animal?
It's not very large.
Is it a mouse?
Now, is that 2 questions?
Yes, that's 2 questions.
That's 14 questions. It's not a mouse. Bobby?
Okay.
Is it a rabbit?
It's a rabbit, Bobby. Vandeventer?
Well, is it the Easter rabbit?
It's the Easter bunny in 16 questions. Very well done. Well, let's see if Mrs. Inez Sharon of Burlington, Massachusetts can stump you all. She's thought up one that's mineral.
If the panel seeks, it shall find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, because that's the subject.
All right, the mystery voice has told the people at home. Now the studio audience knows what it is. This is a toughie. Let's see if you can get this. Who's the first question? Miss Renard?
Is it in its natural state?
Yes, it's in its natural state. Bobby?
Is it metallic?
It's not metallic. Yes, I guess it is. Miss Renard?
Is it a precious stone of some sort?
It's not a precious... It's not a precious stone. Wait a minute. You want to go again, Miss
Is
Renard?
it a precious metal, then?
It's a precious metal.
Is it gold?
It's gold, Miss Renard.
Is it real gold?
I've never been there, but that's what they tell me. Mr. Vandeventer?
Is it fictional?
It's mentioned in fiction quite often. A certain gold. Mr. Lederer?
Is it, does it appear as a part in an opera of Wagner?
I don't believe so.
Oh, now, wait a second.
I don't believe so.
No.
No. Miss Renard?
Can this gold be seen, or has it ever been seen by anyone? Actually?
I don't think it has ever been seen by anyone. Mr. Palazzi?
Is it Midas's gold?
No. I saw that in Walt Disney's picture, didn't you?
I don't know where you hang out.
Miss Renard?
Is it the gold at the end of the rainbow?
It's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Well, you turned me back on that one. Let's see what you can do with one thought up by Miss Catherine Parker, whose home is in New York City. This, too, is animal.
Bill Slater happens to be thinking of a motion picture actress, Ann Rutherford.
All right, the mystery voice has told them at home. Everybody knows now. Here's Miss Renard after it.
Is it a living American woman?
It is a living American woman. She got 3 questions in one for one. Now, Mr. Letter, I want you to look sharp on this one. Who has the second question? Van de Venne?
Is this woman in any way connected with the government?
No. Might be a more pleasant government if she were, but she isn't. Mr. Letter?
Is she an actress?
She's an actress. Bobby?
Is she in the movies?
She's in the movies, Bobby. Bobby?
Other than being just a straight star, would she be connected with any series of pictures?
Yes, she was connected with one series of pictures. Van de Venne?
Is she an elderly actress?
Why, Fred, no. Indeed, no.
Did she ever play with Mr. Lederer? I mean, on the screen.
Whether or not she has ever played with Mr. Lederer on the screen, the answer is yes.
Well, would it be Paulette Goddard?
It's not Paulette Goddard. That's question number 8. Mr. Lederer?
Ginger Rogers?
No, it's not Ginger Rogers.
Find your own leading lady.
Van de Venne?
Is she a brunette?
Yeah.
Francis?
Yeah. Miss Renard?
Has she been playing a great many years rather than being very new?
She's been playing a moderate number of years. I think that's a fair question. A fair answer.
How many questions is that?
That's 11 questions. Mr. Letter?
Francis D.
No, I'm sorry. It's not Francis D. It's you. You have had so many women in your life on the screen, haven't you, Mr.
Yeah,
Letter?
but the number of the brunettes are quite limited.
Well, she always appeared brunette to me. Van de Venne?
You said that she was in a series of pictures. That's a review.
You mean you don't want me to charge you for that question?
No, I'm asking for reaffirmation.
That's right, yes.
Well, was she ever in the Hardy family series?
I'm afraid she was.
Ann Rutherford?
Ann Rutherford, Mr. Letter. He got it. And Mr.
How do you
Letter.
like that? He can't remember playing with Ann Rutherford.
Imagine.
No, that only happened to me.
He's been living on a rich diet, Mr. Lazy.
Yes.
With ordinary... I hope you'll not have too much explaining to do to Miss Rutherford about all those other names you mentioned ahead of hers when you go back to Hollywood. Well, now that they got Ann Rutherford in 14 questions and only had to go 16 questions to get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, let's try this subject here. Mrs. Roy Scaggins, whose home is in Rock Island in Illinois, thought this one up, and this one's mineral.
The panel can't hear me as I tell you that the subject is Jesse James Revolver.
You're doing pretty well tonight. This is a little bit harder. Bobby.
You said this is mineral?
This is mineral.
Is it metallic?
It's metallic.
Is it manufactured?
It's manufactured. Van?
Does it have any moving parts?
Yes, it's got one moving part, a couple of them. Miss Renard?
I always have to ask this. Is it a class question or a specific article?
It's a specific one you're after this time. Bobby?
Is this a musical instrument?
No, it doesn't play good music at all. It's not a musical instrument. Van de Venne?
Is it most famous because of the person who owns it?
That's right. Bobby?
Is this person living?
No. Van?
Was he a man?
Yes. Miss Renard?
Was he fictional?
He actually existed. That's 10 questions. Mr. Blasey?
Was he an inventor or scientist?
No, not that. Mr. Van de Venne?
Was he an American?
Yes. It's 12 questions. No, Bobby?
Was he a statesman?
No, he was scarcely a statesman. Mr. Leather?
Is it a car?
No, the object's not a car. No, that's 14 now. Mr. Blasey?
Well, did he use it in the sport world? Indoor sports included.
No, you don't consider what he used it for sports. Bobby?
Was this some sort of a weapon?
It was a weapon, Bobby.
Was it a gun?
It was a gun, Bobby. That's 17 questions. We have 3 to go. Miss Renard?
Was it a cowboy's gun?
No, he was not a cowboy. Not best known as a cowboy. Bobby?
Was he a gangster?
He was an outlaw, Bobby.
Jesse James?
Jesse James on question number 20. Well, Mrs. Skaggins almost got you on that with Jesse James' revolver. You had to go full 20 questions. He's pretty good, isn't he, Mr. Letter, Bobby?
I don't know if he doesn't know the things beforehand. It surprises me.
He surprises me, too. Well, now let's take this one sent by Ralph Ebright, whose home is in Columbus, Ohio, and let's let the people at home play on this one, too. Let's not tip them off. Let's see if they can get it in as many questions as it takes our questioners here. This subject is mineral. The studio audience knows what it is. Now let's see what kind of a record you can set on this. This is mineral. Van de Venne.
Is it manufactured?
Not manufactured. Bobby?
Is it metallic?
No. Mr. Blaze?
Was it connected with a famous person?
No. No.
Last question.
Miss Renard?
Is it stone?
It's stone.
Is it in its natural state?
It's in its natural state. Van de Venne?
Is it in the United States?
No, it's not. Mr. Blazer?
Is it in Ireland?
No, it's not in Ireland. Maybe you were thinking of the Blarney Stone, your old friend. Mr. Letter?
Is it a building?
Sir?
Is it used as a building material?
This particular one is not used as a building material, no. It's made of something that could be used as a building material, Mr. Letter. Bobby?
Does this stone exist?
Oh, sure, it exists. That's 10 questions. Van de Ven?
Is it in Europe?
It's in Europe. Bobby?
Is it in England?
No,
or
it's
the
not in
British
England.
Isles?
No. No, well, that's 13 questions coming up now. This is number 13, just about to be asked. Miss Renard?
Is it all stone, or could there be something else mixed in with it?
No, what I have in mind, and what is generally designated by the phrase I have in mind, which I bet you wish you could read, is all stone.
Is it the Rock of Gibraltar?
It's the Rock of Gibraltar. Very well done.
I'm going to catch it when I get home.
Yes, I should say you should. Mr. Van de Venner?
Just for the record, I concede that it is the Rock of Gibraltar, without question. But, of course, there
Oh, it
are
is. It's
manufactured fortifications and even a city right on the rock.
Yes, but the rock wasn't manufactured, at least not by any of us
No.
mortals.
Who do you take your insurance
from?
Well, this is a metropolitan audience. Now, here's question number 6 coming up. And I'd like you people at home to write in and tell us how many questions it took you to get it. It took our experts here exactly 14 questions to get the Rock of Gibraltar. And incidentally, if you've got some at home, some subjects in your mind, why not write to us and send them in and see if we can stump these pretty smart people who haven't been stumped yet tonight, but I think the time is coming. Here is subject number 6. Joan Norton, who incidentally is a member of the English class at Chevenet Academy at Highland Mills, New York, and the whole class sent us in subjects. And so let's see if this Academy class of kids can stump you people. This subject is vegetable and mineral.
This is the mystery voice once more. The subject is the place where the shot was fired that was heard round the world. The bridge at Concord.
All right, everybody, the people at home and the people in the studio know what it is. Everybody but you, and this is a toughie. Mr. Palazzi.
Well, since it came from a class, is it a class question?
No, it's a specific thing we're after. Bobby?
Is it manufactured?
Yes. Van de Venner?
Is it liquid?
No, it's not liquid. Miss Renard?
Is it fictional?
It's real. But it's been written about. Bobby?
Is it a structure?
It's a structure. It's 5 questions. Bobby again.
Does it exist?
It exists. Van de Venner?
Is it in the United States?
It's in the United States. Bobby again.
Is it in or near the Atlantic seaboard?
It's not far from the Atlantic seaboard. That's 8 questions. Miss Renard?
Is it in the state of New York?
Not in New York State. Bobby?
Is it in Pennsylvania?
No, it's not in Pennsylvania. 10 questions. Mr. Palazzi?
Is it in New England?
It's in New England.
Is it the Plymouth Rock?
No, it's not the Plymouth Rock. That's 12 questions. I said this was constructed.
Oh, excuse me.
See. Mr. Van de Venner?
Is this in Boston?
No, it's not in Boston. Miss Renard?
Is it in Massachusetts?
It's in Massachusetts. 14 questions now. Van de Venner again?
Was it written about by some of the so-called American masters of literature?
Yes.
Was it the House of Seven Gables?
No, it was not the House of Seven Gables. That's 16 questions, 4 left. Miss Renard?
Was it the Concord Bridge?
With the bridge at Concord. That was my ace. Now, how in the world did you get that, Miss Renard?
Well, you'd be surprised if I told you.
Well, surprise me.
I was reading that poem yesterday by the rude bridge that arched the flood, you know?
That's right.
Well, It was in my mind.
Yes, well, it's good for you, but tough for the girls up at Chevenet Academy that you were reading yesterday.
Wish I had a mind.
Yes, don't we all?
I was reading the wrong thing, I guess.
You seem to be doing very well. And now let's try subject number 7. I'm going to catch you people on this. I bet you don't see through this one. Fred Miller of LeMay, Missouri, thought this up. And this is, I should say, usually mineral.
The subject, believe it or not, is a keyhole.
All right, everybody's been told. Now let's see you get this one. Van de Venne.
Is this a class question?
This is a class question. I want you to find any one of a number of these things. Van de Venne again.
Is it usable by man?
Oh, sure. Very usable in a lot of ways by man.
You know, when we ask those silly questions, I'm just dying to know why people laugh.
You'll find out, but I don't think in 20 questions. Bobby?
It's an ornamental.
It's not particularly ornamental. It's much more useful than ornamental. Van de Venne?
Is it metallic?
Ordinarily. Ordinarily. Van?
Is it ordinarily used in the home?
Yes, they have them in every home. How they're used in every home, I'm not going to comment on. But they have them in every home. Miss Renard?
Does it have moving parts?
Not this thing itself. No, I wouldn't say so. Van de Venne?
Is it normally to be found in the kitchen?
Oh, I guess they have them in the kitchen. They're not as interesting there as they are other places. Mr. Palazzi?
Could I see my mother-in-law in it?
Well, I don't know your mode of life. I rather hope not. That's 9 questions now. Van de Venne?
Does this normally hang on a wall?
No, it doesn't normally hang on a wall. That's 9 questions. Mr. Letter?
Is it an article that's needed for hygiene?
No. And after you... No, Mr. Letter, no.
What kind of a home does he come from?
I hope after using it you wouldn't even say hygiene. Let's go for question number 11. Miss Renard?
Is it a musical instrument?
No, you can't play a tune on this. It's not a musical instrument. Van de Venne?
Is it small in size as distinguished from large in size? You know.
Oh, yes, it's quite small in size. Yeah. Mr. Palazzi?
No. How many questions is that? This thing I had in mind was the hygiene.
Yes, you've had 12 questions. You've had 13, isn't it? 12. Miss Renard?
Does it have anything to do with electricity?
No, it can be very shocking at times, but it has nothing to do with electricity. Van de Venne?
Is it wearing apparel at all?
No, you wouldn't look well dressed in this. Bobby?
Is it rather nothing that is surrounded by something other than something solid?
Yes, it's...
Keyhole.
It's a keyhole. Well, that's as amazing an exhibition as I think I've ever seen. Van de Venne?
By gosh, I don't think there's anything mineral about a keyhole because there's nothing there.
Have you been looking lately? Take a good look when you get home tonight.
Did you ever see the hole in a donut?
No, but when I get my eye up to a keyhole, I mean, if I were to get my eye up to a keyhole, I said it's usually mineral. See, there. Well, anyway, you got it, and I didn't think you would. Let's see how you'll do with this one. Mrs. L. Hannikin, whose home is in West Covington down in Kentucky, thought this one up, and I'm going to be very enigmatic about this one. You've been doing too well tonight. This subject is animal.
They're 5 of a kind. Bill is thinking of the Dion quintuplets.
All right, the people at home know. People in the studio audience know. Let's see you get this one. I'm going to make it as tough as possible. Bobby?
Is it human being?
Yes. Van de Venne?
Is it a living American man?
No. Mr. Letter?
Is it dead?
No. Miss Renard?
Is it a woman?
It's female.
Is it a little girl?
It's not a little girl. 5. Bobby?
5 little girls?
It's intermission time on 20 Questions. And while the experts are taking a breather, here's music by Bill Bryan and the Trio. That was Bill Bryan and the Trio. Now back to the Master of Ceremonies on 20 Questions, Bill Slater.
Miss Ernestine Mincy sent this in. Her home is in Gainesville, Georgia. This is usually mineral. It's mineral.
The panel doesn't know it yet, but the subject is April showers.
It's mineral. See if you can get this in 20 questions, you smarties. Van Vanner?
Is it a keyhole?
No. No. Miss Renard?
Is it manufactured?
No. Bobby?
Is it metallic?
No.
Is it in
Take it
existence?
easy.
Is it in existence?
These things exist. Yes. Bobby?
Is it a class question?
Not completely. It's a certain type of a bunch of things. Mr. Palazzi?
Is it in a children's story?
Mentioned in children's stories, but not prominently. Van de Venner?
May I review a moment? Did you say it was metallic?
No.
Is it metallic?
No. No. It's composed of mineral substance. Palazzi?
Is it made of glass?
No. Bobby?
Is it stone?
No. Mr. Letter?
Is it a household article?
No. Sometimes gets into the house, but it shouldn't. Miss Renard?
Is it cloth of some kind?
What'd you say?
Is it cloth of some kind?
No, not near. That's 11 questions. Van de Venner?
Is it manufactured?
That question's been asked. I'm not going to charge you for that. No. I answered that once. No. Bobby?
Is it water?
It's water, Bobby. You're very close. That's 12 questions. You have 8 to go. Van de Venner?
Is it a geographical body of water?
No, it's not. Miss Renard?
Is it a spring shower?
Be more specific. Yes, it's a
An
spring...
April shower?
It's an April shower. This is the most amazing record we've had yet. Just no question about it. I don't know what's gotten into you people tonight.
Miss Renard's been reading.
Miss Renard has indeed been reading. What do you think of it, Mr. Letter? It must be the inspiration you've brought to us. There's never been a record like this made on 20 Questions.
That they looked up before they went on the air.
All right, let's try these quickies here.
I want to kid.
Now I'm moving into my own ones that I've thought up myself.
These are tough.
This first one I think is tough. I thought this up all by my little self and in one of my most vicious moments. This subject is quickie number 1, vegetable, mineral, animal.
Bill's subject is Hollywood.
Now the Mr. Voice has told the people at home. Now the people in the studio can see. Get this if you can. Van de Venner?
Is it manufactured?
Yes. Partly.
Is it a structure?
No. Partly.
Is there one of these things in New York City?
No.
Is it in existence?
Oh, yes, sir.
Is it something like a statue or a carving of some sort?
It's got those things in it, but that isn't it. Mr. Letter?
The sign?
No.
An advertising sign?
No, but there are advertising signs in it. Bobby?
I was going to say, is it a structure?
I answered that once. I'm
Remember
saying
me?
it was partly a structure. Van de
You
Venner?
say there's nothing like it in New York?
No, I'll say there isn't. No. No.
And you say it is in existence?
Oh, very much so. Van de Venner?
Is it in the United States?
Yes, sir. Yes, it's almost indigenous to the United States. I will look that up when I go home. Bobby?
Is this used for entertainment purposes?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Is it in a phrase or a slogan?
Not in any slogan I know of. Mr. Letter?
Is it made of paper?
No, although some people are inclined to think that it's almost that flimsy at times, but it isn't. Van de Venner?
Is it in the entertainment world?
Yes.
Is it a radio program?
No, it's not a radio program, but you're warmer than you think, Mr. Letter.
Is it in the theater?
No, it's not in a theater, but it's connected with the theater. Bobby?
I had my hand up.
Oh, didn't you?
Is it someone's voice?
No. No.
Is it a script of any sort?
No, it's vegetable, mineral, and animal all put together. A little different category from what you've been dealing in before.
Is it a circus?
No, it's not a circus. Miss Renard?
Does it have anything to do with sports?
Certain kinds of sports, yes. Mr. Letter?
Is it a radio commercial?
No, it's not the radio commercial. Mr. Lederer, you ought to know what this is, Bobby.
Well, does it have anything to do with the movies?
Yes, a lot.
The movie set or something like that?
It's pretty close. You're pretty close, Bobby.
Or...
I said it was vegetable, mineral, and animal.
Is it motion picture film?
No, but you're awfully close. It's...
Is it a studio?
No.
Is it motion picture camera?
No. It's more than that. It's got those things in it.
Is it Hollywood?
It's Hollywood, Mr. Glazer. Well, that was...
My old hometown.
That was far over 20 questions, but you were going against time, and it took you exactly 3.5 minutes to get Hollywood, but it's taken a lot of other people a lot
on the
longer
telephone.
than that. Yes. All right, friends, I think our questioners tonight, and our guest, Mr. Francis Lederer, has been most welcome and most helpful. I think our questioners tonight have set an all-time high. If I were you people at home, I'd send in some of the toughest subjects I could think up and let me throw them at these people.
Thank you, Bill Slater. You've been listening to 20 Questions with Bill Slater as your Master of Ceremonies. Music on the program is provided by the Bill Bryan Trio. 20 Questions comes to you through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Presented by Phenomint, F-E-E-N-A-M-I-N-T. Phenomint, the modern chewing gum laxative. So good to chew, so good for you. Yes, folks, if a laxative is needed, chew Phenomint. As refreshing as your favorite gum. So good to chew, so good for you. Millions now turn to Phenomint. And now it's double or nothing. The thrilling quiz show with a $100 question and your paymaster of ceremonies, Todd Russell.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fred B. Cole, and hello out there, everybody, everywhere. We're all set to play Double or Nothing again with a fine group of contestants from all parts of these United States. And who is first to our microphone, Fred?
He is Jimmy Salvato of Patterson, New Jersey.
Jimmy, nice to see you. Come on over here, man. Jimmy, it's really nice to welcome you to Double or Nothing tonight. May we ask what you do over there in Patterson, New Jersey, Jim?
I'm manager of the Patterson Rod and Gun Store.
Oh, boy. Do you do any hunting and fishing yourself?
Oh, you bet. In fact, our whole family's fishermen, and my daughter Joan happens to be the women's national fly champion for the last 4 years.
Oh, that is really fine. You mean she travels all around the country giving exhibitions and things like that?
Yes, she does. She's right in Providence tonight.
Gee, well, look,
nice exhibition on it.
I'll bet you. Just between you and me, Jim, does your daughter ever get any time off to go fishing?
You bet.
Even that, too, huh?
Oh, yes.
Well, Jim, suppose you and I go fishing right here and now for one of these crisp new $100 bills. Is that all right with you?
Well, try it.
Sure. First of all, with our Phenomint Grand Slam question for the big extra prize. Here's the way the question goes. In miles per hour, what was the fastest baseball throw ever recorded? In miles per hour, Jim?
Let's see.
We want to get your estimate on this. He's thinking. You have a few seconds to think about it, Jim. In miles per hour, what was the fastest baseball throw ever recorded?
I'll say 100 miles per hour.
100 miles per hour. Down it goes is your estimate. Jim, you have a Double or Nothing session on political or rebellious groups. Now, here's what happens. We name the group, and you tell us in what country it started. Now, like for the first Phenomen 5 here, in what country were the black shirts born?
Oh, that's Italy.
Yes, Fasci's party in Italy, and that's $5 to you. And now for another Phenomen 5 here. Where did the Orange Men found their group? No, not the sun-kissed Orange Men, John. No. No, these are the Orange Men. These were further east.
Ireland.
Yes, in Ulster, Northern Ireland, 1795. That's another 5 to you, Jim. You've won $10. For another Phenomen 5, in what country did we find the once powerful Junkers? That's J-U-S.
Oh, that's Germany.
Yes, that's right. The land-owning nobility in Germany. You've won $15. You're doing well. For 5 more, in what country did the Mafia originate? The Mafia.
Well, that's Sicily, part of Italy.
Yes, Italy is that's exactly right. You've won another $5, Jim. You're doing well here. No hesitation at all. Well, now you've won $20 for still another Phenomen 5. In what country did the Huguenots first organize? In what country did they first organize, the Huguenots?
They emigrated here. They come from either Belgium or France.
Let's pin you down. Which one, Belgium or France, Jim?
French Huguenots.
You've won $25 from Phenomen. That's right, sir. Now, you go away, Jim. You've won that $25. Now, is that going to be all? Or will you try for the Phenomen 50, double or nothing?
I'll try.
Good for you. It's a good sport. All right, Jim. Here we go, and it's for $50. Where did the Boxers cause all that trouble?
That was the Boxer Rebellion. That's China.
Yes, that's exactly right. Boy, Jim, you're doing very well, and you've won that Phenomen 50 now. How about, is that going to be your limit? Or will you risk that 50 to try for $100?
Let's shoot the works.
Or shoot the works, he says. Well, good for you, man. Here we go. And it's for $100. In what country did the Jingos organize to practice Jingoism?
What was that? The
Jingos. Jingoes.
Oh, I read something about that not long ago. Jingos.
We've got a few seconds, Jim.
Jingos.
In what country did they organize the Jingos? That was to practice Jingoism.
Let's see, British Isles. England.
That is exactly right, Jim. There's your $100. Stay with us for the Grand Slam question.
Our next contestant is a lady visitor from Washington, D.C. Todd, meet Miss Priscilla Morgan.
Miss Morgan, it's certainly nice to meet you. Come on over and say hello.
Hello.
Really good to have you with us here tonight. You happen to work for the government down there in Washington, Miss Morgan?
No, right now I'm sort of doing a little freelance writing.
I see. What form of writing are you doing?
Well, I'm doing some serious work on a book. I've been writing quite a bit of poetry, but that just feeds the soul, so I guess I've got to try and do something to feed my body, too.
I see. We've heard about it. You're working on a book, huh?
That's right.
I've been working on some books myself, but it seems no matter how much work I do, they just don't seem to balance. It seems to be that extra lunch money, I guess. Well, now, I'll tell you what, best luck with your book, and also best luck with your questions right here, Miss Morgan. First, our Phenomen Grand Slam question for the big extra prize. We want your estimate. In miles per hour, what was the fastest baseball throw ever recorded?
I'll say exactly 90 miles.
How was that, 90?
90.
90 miles, all right. Down it goes then as your estimate. And Miss Morgan, I see you're going to consort with some of your fellow authors in your try for this $100 bill. Now, each of these authors has written a Pulitzer Prize-winning novel. Here's what happens. We name the novel, you name the author. Now, for the first Phenomen 5, the novel is Gone with the Wind.
That would be Margaret Mitchell.
It would indeed, and our first 5 is Gone with the Wind right now. For $5 more, Miss Morgan, the novel this time is Grapes of Wrath.
John Steinbeck.
You're way ahead of me. That's fine. Good, and you've won $10. Now, here's another Phenomen 5, another Pulitzer winner. This time it's Dragon's Teeth. Who was the famous author? Dragon's Teeth. Don't coach out there. Let Miss Morgan do it. She's doing well here. It's a Pulitzer winner, Dragon's Teeth. Now, who was...
Is that a recent book?
The famous author. Comparatively recent book, yes. Very famous author, I'm sure you know him, Miss Morgan.
Man, did you say? Was it a he?
Yes, I let myself in for that. It was a he, Yeah? Famous author. Dragon's Teeth.
Would that be Markland?
Oh, no. I'm awfully sorry, Miss Morgan. Upton Sinclair.
Oh, I
she
should have
knew it
known
all
that.
the time. She couldn't think of it, that's all. However, you have won that $10, Miss Morgan. You may win some more money on our Grand Slam question. Good luck to you, and thank you.
Next to our Double or Nothing microphone, Todd, is a post office clerk. Meet Murray Rosenberg of New York City.
I'll say so, Murray. Nice to meet you. Awfully good to welcome you to Double or Nothing tonight, too.
Leave that alone.
You all set there? He was getting set at the microphone. Which post office do you work in?
The U.S. Post Office.
The which?
The U.S. Post Office. What's the matter? It's a monopoly.
Well, I led with my chin again. No, I guess nobody's going to cut in on your business, Murray.
Nobody else is either.
I really meant which station in New York City?
I'm down at the main branch, 24th and 8th Avenue.
Oh, sure. And how about that postal zoning system, Murray? How does that work?
But, gee, that's so simple. I can only confuse it. I'll try to confuse it for you.
Try to confuse it?
Oh, sure. I'm confused already. Let me see now. The whole city is broke down into zones. Or little sections. And when you put the number that they tell you to put on it, it makes it simpler this way. When they box up all these letters, they have to have men who know the city scheme in order to say, well, if a letter was going to 2122 Park Avenue, he would have to know what station it went to. But if he saw number 22 in parenthesis next to 2122 Park Avenue, he would throw it right into a box marked number 22. That would expedite the mail or expedite the mail.
I see. Well, I can certainly see how that zoning would certainly eliminate confusion, Murray. Now, I'll tell you what.
I'm confused now.
Well, we're both confused together, Murray. Let's do our Phenomen Grand Slam question here for that big extra prize. We want your estimate. In miles per hour, what was the fastest baseball throw ever recorded?
Oh, about 120 miles an hour.
120 miles per hour. Down it goes as your estimate. And, Murray, your Double or Nothing session is called Places and Products. We name the place. You tell us the product for which it is famous. Now, for instance, for the first Phenomen 5, we name Newcastle. You name the product for which it is famous.
Coal.
Yes, coal is exactly right, and you've won $5. Now, for another Phenomen 5, the place is Sheffield. What do we get from
Steel.
Sheffield? Which is that?
Steel.
Sure, silverware, cutlery, fine steel. That's right, and you've won $10. Here's another Phenomen 5 if you answer this question, Murray. The place is Kimberly.
Diamonds.
Oh, he's right there. Sure, diamonds. And he took still another Phenomen 5 here. The place is Malaga. You name the famous product of...
Grapes, I'd say. I don't know, Malaga grapes.
That's all right. And wine. Sure, that's fun. You've won $20. Here's another Phenomen 5. The place this time is Belfast.
What that's is... linens, Irish linen.
He's right there with these. You've won $25 from Phenomen, Murray. Now, how about, is that going to be your ceiling, or will you try...
No, go ahead. Boy, goes my vacation.
All right. You mean we're to go ahead for $50? Right. Murray, the place this time is Limoges, France. What famous product do we get from Limoges? Don't coach, please. It's Limoges.
Oh, that's Chinaware or, isn't Limoges? No, that's...
You're all right. Porcelain China. You won that for $15 now. All right.
Go ahead.
You mean we're going to eliminate all this and go after $100, huh? All right. Here we go. For $100, the place is Carrara, Italy. Name the famous product. Don't coach, please. That is not Carrara Bouvier. Murray. Carrara. C-A-R-R-A-R-A. Carrara, Italy. A very famous product comes from there. We'd like you to tell us for $100.
All I can think about Italy would be cheese. I don't know. I've never heard of any cheese by that name.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry, Murray. No marble. Very fine marble from Carrara, Italy. I'm awfully sorry, Murray. But you stay with us for that Phenomen Grand Slam question. Good luck to you on it. Thanks to you, Murray Rose.
Todd, our next guest is a lady from Philadelphia. Meet Miss Dolores Dawson.
That is indeed a pleasure, Miss Dawson. Come on over.
How do you do, Mr. Dawson?
Real nice to see you. May we ask, what is your work, Miss Dawson?
Well, I'm a model, freelance.
Oh, boy, I'll bet you're a good one, too. She's a very, very pretty young lady, isn't she? I'll bet you're a real good model. Now, say, Is it true, Miss Dawson, that they teach models to walk gracefully by having them walk around with objects on their heads like books and chairs and tables and stuff like that?
Well, the books, at least.
The books, at least. I thought there must have been some easier way of moving furniture. Well, now, Miss Dawson, let's move right now to our Phenomen Grand Slam question for the big extra prize. Here, we want to get your estimate. In miles per hour, what was the fastest baseball throw ever recorded, would you say?
I'd say about 110.
110 miles per hour. There it goes. It's your estimate, Miss Dawson. And you have for yourself a double or nothing session on music. Matter of fact, we might call it What's Wanted, because there's something wanted in the title of each one of these songs. Now, for the first Phenomen 5, what's wanted in this particular song? Will you play it for us, Victor? Popular song, and something is wanted.
I'm happy and want you to be happy now.
Well, what would you say you wanted to be?
Happy.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. I want to be happy. All right, these are all What's Wanted songs, Miss Dawson, and you've won $5 to start you on your way. Now, for the next Phenomen 5, what is wanted in this song title? Listen as Victor Powell plays it. Girl, just like the girl. That's fine, and you've won $10. Now for another Phenomen 5, what isn't wanted this time, what is not wanted in this song title. Listen carefully, here's the music.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
Yes, I don't want to set the world on fire. Good. That pays off $15, Miss Dawson, and you won't set the world on fire with that, so let's go right after another Phenomen 5, huh? With another want song title. Now, see if you know it. Here's the music right here. That's the one. What do you want to make those eyes at me for? Good, and $20 goes to you. Now, here's for another Phenomen 5. What does the singer of this song want? Listen.
I want you. I'll be wanting you.
That's very, very close. What were the last two words you just said then?
You. Wanting you.
Wanting you. That's right. That's exactly right. Good. Got it without any help at all, and you've won $25 now from Phenomen, Miss Dawson. How about it? Is that going to be all for you? Or will you try another of our wants here for the Phenomen 50, double or nothing?
I'll try.
Good for you. Here we go then for $50. What is wanted in this popular song? Now listen, here it is. Which is that again?
Mama, you Carol.
What is that? What is the English translation?
I want my mama.
Yes, that's exactly right. Boys, you both. I want my mama. The Phenomen 50 is now yours, Miss Dawson. How about, is that your limit? Or will you try for $100? Double or nothing?
I'll try.
All right, good for you. Here we go then. And it's for $100. What is wanted in this old favorite by Romberg from The New Moon it is. Here it is. Here's the music. Folks out here are all thinking hard about that one, Miss Dawson. What do you think? It's by Sigmund Romberg, and it's from The New Moon. Now, does that help? And something is wanted.
I want love. Something to do with love. But let me think. Oh, I know it so well.
Just a few more seconds, Miss Dawson. Just a few more seconds to go.
I want my lover.
Oh, no, I'm awfully sorry, Miss Dawson. The song is I Want What I Want. When I want it. Oh, she knew it all the time. Miss Dawson, you stay with us, though, for that Grand Slam question. You may win some money on it. Good luck to you, and thank you. Thank you.
But here's a lady visiting from Newton, Massachusetts. Meet Mrs. Eileen Kelly.
That's a pleasure. That's a pleasure. Mrs. Kelly? Welcome to New York, and welcome to Double or Nothing.
Thank you.
That is Mrs. Kelly, isn't it?
Mrs.
Uh-huh. Are you a housewife, Mrs. Kelly, or do you work?
Well, That's what being a housewife is.
Oh, really? I was only kidding, Mrs. Kelly. How about us going right to work right now on you making some money? Is that all right with you?
Fine.
Good. Let's try first of all with our Phenomen Grand Slam question for the big extra prize, which goes in miles per hour. What was the fastest baseball throw ever recorded? We want an estimate from you, Mrs. Kelly.
Well, I'll just guess. About 95 miles.
95 miles. Down it goes, then. Now, Mrs. Kelly, I see that you're taking on a double or nothing session about fighting words. Now, you will try to give us 5 historic phrases of fighting words. There are lots of them. Phenomen will pay you $5 for each phrase, up to 5. On your mark, get set, and here we go.
Don't shoot till you see the whites of their eyes.
That's fine. You've certainly got the idea. Good. That's 5.
54-40 or fight.
Fine one. That's another 5.
I will be back. I will return.
Yes, I'll say that. Yes, very, very good. That's 3. Fine one. That was indeed.
Give me liberty or give me death.
Very good. That's 4. Let's get one more, can we? We've got a few seconds to go.
Watch for the day. It's the 7th of May.
Gee, what's that? I don't think I know that one. What's the day?
Well, I've heard it on the radio. I'm not sure what it is.
Is it all right? All right. All right. Till expensive. I don't know whether I'm being taken or not, Mrs. Kelly. We're going to call that $25 you just won for Phenomen. Now, how about, is that going to be enough for you? Or will you try for the Phenomen 50, double or nothing?
Oh, I'll try.
Good. All right. Here we go for $50 then. This time within 15 seconds. Give us 3 famous American fighting slogans or phrases beginning with the word remember. There were many. Now, on your mark, get set, and here we go.
Remember the Alamo.
Very good. 1.
Remember the Maine.
Yes, that's
Remember Pearl Harbor.
Well, that's 3. All right. Very well done. Good. No trouble at all for you, Mrs. Kelly, and you won the Phenomen 50. How about, is that your limit? Or will you again risk your winnings to try for $100, double or nothing?
Oh, I'll try.
She's going to try. Good for you. It's for $100. And here's the question. What was the single fighting word shouted by our paratroopers as they hit the silk in World War II?
Geronimo.
Oh, she's right there. There's your $100. Mrs. Kelly, stay with us for the Grand Slam. Ladies and gentlemen, we announced the song I Want What I Want When I Want It as being composed by Sigmund Romberg. We are at fault. The composer, of course, was Victor Herbert. Sorry. Now, who's next to our microphone, Fred?
An ex-Navy man, Todd. Let's have a real double or nothing welcome for John Stack.
Hey, John, it's nice to see you, man. Come on over here.
Glad to see you, Todd.
Boy, oh, boy. Where do you hail from, John?
Buffalo, New York, sir.
Buffalo, New York. And how long were you in the Navy?
3.5 years.
Gee, whiskers. What kind of work do you do, John?
An advertising salesman, space.
Space salesman? Mm-hmm. Say, you couldn't sell me a little space for a family of 2, could you? I mean, with a southern exposure and all that?
Not real estate, space.
Oh, space, advertising space. All right, John, first of all, your estimate of our Phenomen Grand Slam question for that big extra prize. In miles per hour, what was the fastest baseball throw ever recorded, would you say?
102.5 miles per hour.
102.5 miles per hour. Down it goes. John, your double or nothing session is on the subject of curiosity. Now, for the first Phenomen 5, name the man whose curiosity about a falling apple led to the discovery of a great fundamental law. Remember?
Newton.
Yes, it was Isaac Newton. You won $5. Now, for another Phenomen 5, whose curiosity caused her to be turned into a pillar of salt?
In the Bible,
Yes, was?
Saul's wife, I think, wasn't it?
Not somebody's wife, not Saul's. You could get a lot closer than that, John, if you just think for a minute. You can get lots closer than that.
Lot's wife.
Yes, Lot's wife. That's right. $10 you won. Now, for another Phenomen 5, whose curiosity caused him to be the only man to look at Godiva on her famous ride through the streets of Coventry, England? This peeping Tom actually lived. He was a tailor. He really lived. Can you name this peeping Tom for us, John? His nickname became synonymous with clandestine ogling, you might say. Do you know who that peeping Tom was, what they called him?
It wasn't peeping Tom.
It was. You're right. You're exactly right, John. $15 to you. Now, for another Phenomen 5, name the explorer born before the year 1500 whose curiosity about a then supposedly flat world led him to embark upon a round-the-world cruise. Remember?
Columbus.
No. This cruise was completed in 3 years. Wait, can you name the explorer we've described? It wasn't Columbus.
Americus Vespucius?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh.
John, we're thinking of Magellan.
Oh.
Gee, I'm sorry, John, but you have won $15. You stay with us for the Grand Slam question. You may win some more money on it. Thank you. All right, now here is the answer to our Grand Slam question for that big extra prize. The question was, in miles per hour, what was the fastest baseball throw ever recorded? Well, we had some very interesting estimates. Jimmy Salvato, his estimate was 100 miles per hour. Priscilla Morgan, 90. Murray Rosenberg, our post office clerk, 120. Mrs. Dawson's estimate was 110. Jim Stack, 95. And Eileen Kelly, 102 and a half. A lot of very, we got those mixed? Well, a lot of very, very close guesses. Now, here is that correct answer. A new record for pitching speed was set last August 20th. By pitcher Bob Feller of the Cleveland Indians. He threw a baseball whose speed was measured at the rate of 98.6 miles per hour. Yes, sir, that baseball was clocked at exactly 98.6 miles per hour. Now, the contestant who came nearest to this figure then was, our very first contestant, Mr. Jim Salvato. Jim, big extra prize for you. We're going to give you a chance to make even more money along the same line. We're going to give you 1 minute, and Phenament will pay you $10 for each and every game you name which is played with a ball of any kind. Now, there are some 300 such games, and we're going to pay you $10 for each and every one you name in 1 minute. The bugle call will signal when your time is up. Jim, on your mark, get set, and here we go. Jim, come on. Lots of games.
Baseball.
Yes.
Basketball.
That's 20.
Football.
30. Now he's going.
Soccer.
40.
Bowling.
$50.
Golf.
60.
Tennis.
70.
Handball.
$80.
Water polo.
$90.
Squash.
100.
Pinball.
Yes. All right. Pinball. 110.
Roulette.
120.
Water polo.
Yes. 130.
Softball.
140. Can we make 140? You're doing
ping pong.
Yes. 150. 150. Can we make it 160, Jim?
I forget. Golf. Did I mention golf?
I think you said golf. Yes. We're at 150, Jim. Come on.
Yes.
150.
Marbles. Billiards.
160, 170. All right.
Three cushion pool. Or pocket billiard. Pocket billiard, that would be.
All right. That is all right. 180. Gee, you're doing all right, Jim. Can we get some more? $180. Let's make
What
it.
about volleyball? That's right.
That's fine. Oh, boy, there goes our bugle call. That is a total, though, of $190. Jim, did you win 100 before?
Yes, I did.
That means you won a grand total tonight of $290. Congratulations, Jim. Ladies and gentlemen, that the gentleman finally broke the ladies' long-term winning streak on this program. The gentleman, Jim, winning exactly $290. But congratulations again to each one of our contestants. Where'd they go? Folks, I like to talk frankly to my listeners, and I've never been more sincere than I am now in recommending Phenamint. Phenamint is a good product. It contains the very laxative medicine many doctors prescribe, and it's used by millions everywhere. You and your whole family can always rely on Phenamint. So next time a laxative is needed, get Phenamint from your druggist. That's
Phenamint. Phenamint.
This is Todd Russell inviting you to listen again next week and match wits with our contestants. Yes, there's going to be more fun, more laughs, the Phenamint Grand Slam question for that big extra prize. There'll be hundreds of dollars in cash prizes. Hey, wait a minute. Take it easy, lady. Save you from what?
Save me from acid indigestion.
Well, that's where I come in, ma'am. Here, have a chew.
Did you say chew?
Yes, I said chew. CHOOZ. Chew. The delicious chewing gum with medically approved ingredients to relieve acid indigestion. And remember the big plus. Chew sweetens your breath as it sweetens your stomach. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our Information Please party. Our board of experts tonight consists first of our two regulars, the encyclopedic John Kieran, editor of the Information Please Almanac, and his gifted colleague, the one and only Franklin P. Adams. The first of our two guests is the famous actor and co-author of Life with Father, as well as many other plays, Mr. Howard Lindsay. And our second guest is our good friend and one of the great maestros of radio, Mr. Fred Allen. Is that okay, Mr. Allen?
Yes. What is radio? You might explain what that is.
Well, we're still working on it.
Then explain what I am, too. Be an evening's work.
In the course of the half hour, you'll get to know Mr. Allen better. How about this one, gentlemen, from Lillian Decker of Hollywood, California. Get all on this. Very social question. In what American city, gentlemen, is the socially prominent area associated with this physical feature? A bay. The socially prominent area is associated with a bay. I'll take Mr. Allen first.
San Francisco.
Do the socially prominent people live around San Francisco Bay, Mr. Allen?
That I don't know. I just guessed. You just wanted to guess.
It's an awful big bay, and I think an awful lot of people live around.
Well, there's some pretty big people in San Francisco.
True. But I'll tell you who lives around the bay mostly. Restaurants. The Fisherman's Walk.
The Fisherman's Walk.
Yeah.
The DiMaggios have a flounder that they've been selling for years.
Maybe the DiMaggio is socially prominent.
Miami.
I beg pardon?
Miami, Florida.
Miami, Florida.
Yeah, Biscayne Bay.
I don't know where the socially prominent Miamians live, but there is a beautiful bay there, Mr. Lindsay.
Why don't we settle for Boston with Back Bay?
Why, of course. That's the one. Mr. Allen, aren't you a Bostonian?
Oh, well, not from the Back Bay area, no.
Somerville area.
Mr. Allen, how far back of Back Bay do you come from?
Well, I heard about the Back Bay when I was about 21, and then I left Boston immediately. When I found out how the other half were living up there, it was rather...
Was that a voluntary exit of yours from Boston?
No, I was helped by some men in a rail.
Citizens. Well, I'm going to call... Mr. Lindsay, of course, is right. I'm going to call the other two wrong. Mr. Allen, Mr. Adams.
You're going to offend a lot of people in San Francisco.
I know. It's going to be tough. How about this? What American city in what American city is the elite, that's another word, associated with a lake? The rich folks live around a lake. Lake dwellers. Mr. Adams.
Michigan.
Well,
Lake Michigan.
What city?
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. All right, now limit yourself to one city, Mr. Adams. What's the area called that's kind of swell in Chicago?
The North Shore.
The North Shore. Good enough. Comment?
I was born on the South Side.
I never heard of a comment more unnecessary. How about in what American city is the socially prominent area associated with a creek? A creek.
Indians.
I beg pardon? Creek Indians? Well, they were the first settlers, of course, but I don't think that they're socially prominent. Mr. Kieran?
Washington, D.C.?
Yes. What?
Rock Creek.
Rock Creek. Rock Creek Park. Isn't that the place where the swell folks live?
That's what they're saying. When creek meets creek, is that what they...
Very good. By the way, Mr. Allen, is crick all right as a pronunciation?
I think it is in certain parts of Tennessee and up in the hills. But it refers to something to do with the back rather than the small animated body of water, as I recall.
Well, it might be a back creek.
Yes,
sure.
from the Back Bay. The Back Bay might have started from a small creek.
Maybe it did. Creek in the back. Now, I think we're sufficiently balled up to pass on to the next question. I'm going to send 24 volumes of the encyclopedia to Miss Decker. Now, remember that Back Bay is the one. Now, let's go on with this one. Oh, here, gentlemen, I must introduce this. I have here a letter from Mr. Harpo Marx of Hollywood. Mr. Marx, as you know, does not speak, but he's recently been taught how to write. And this is addressed to you, Frank, and the other experts. Dear Frank and experts. I don't know why he makes that distinction.
He knows me too well.
About 10 years ago, I thought up a question, which I sent to Information Please for you experts to answer because I wanted a set of those 24 books. You answered all my questions, so I didn't get the books. I still need them. I'd like to send you another question, but I can't think of any. But I got an idea. The grammar here is improvable. Maybe you can use the same question. If this time the experts are dumb, I may get those books. Please ask Dan Golenpaul if he still has the question around. That's all. Harpo. Well, Mr. Golenpaul does have it around. I have it here. 10 years later. Here we go. Answer all parts. Answer the following questions about games and contests. What game is played with one hand? What game is played with one hand? Mr. Kieran?
Handball.
Handball.
One hand handball.
Well, don't you have to pick up the ball with the left hand first in order to get it started?
Not necessarily.
Never use your left hand?
You can drop it and hit it with the same hand.
You can. Okay, I'll take it. What game is played with one foot? With one foot. It's a very bright audience, but I'm going to ask you to keep quiet. 1 foot. Mr. Kieran.
Well, football.
Hunting. Oh, now, football with 1 foot. You have to run with 2 feet. No, I mean, you never use more than 1 foot, Mr. Kieran. Mr. Lindsay.
Hopscotch.
Ah, good boy. Good little boy, I should say. Yes.
Thank you.
I wouldn't say so.
Hopscotch?
No, when you come to the end and turn around and start back again, you can put both feet in the end zone.
How long is it since you played hopscotch?
About 30 years. They changed the rules. Have they changed the rules?
30 years. You must have been the oldest hopscotch player in the world. I'm not sure, Mr. Kieran. You may be right. I'm going to take hopscotch, though. I don't like to mention this among just us men, but how about footsie?
I've seen you use both feet.
Oh, do you? With your shoes off. What game is played entirely off the ground? Entirely off the ground. Billiards? Well, it may be the way you play it.
I play it on the table. That's off the ground.
No, but I know that you don't keep your feet on the ground generally, Mr. Adams, but you do have your feet on the ground. That's right. You don't always sit on the table. Mr. Allen.
Water polo.
Oh, you clever boy. That's
really
good. Yeah, that's very good.
But at the bottom of the whole thing, there's ground.
Don't mention it. I don't think we got perfect on that. It might be a good thing for Harpo to get 24 volumes of the encyclopedia.
I think he can use it.
He wouldn't read them.
Oh, you can't tell. If he gets the encyclopedia, he may be able to dig out another question for us. So ring out those wild bells for Mr. Harpo Marx. Mrs. L.I. Thayer of Chicago asks you to recite lines from different sources, songs or poems, that mention 3 foods that a dieting woman should avoid. Now, you know what a dieting woman should avoid. Foods. But specific ones. Mr. Kieran.
Potatoes are cheaper, butter is cheaper, now's the time to fall in love.
That's very good. Is it, it's butter, of course.
You can put anything in there you want. Put the expensive, rich foods that add calories.
That's right. Any other? Now, you all know lots of things that anyone should avoid if one wants to get slim. Mr. Allen?
Cake, Kaiser.
I beg pardon?
Cake, Kaiser.
I get it, yes. I was just lost in admiration. Amazing. Mr. Kieran.
She was bred in old Kentucky.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's very good. Mr. Adams.
Peas porridge hot.
Peas porridge hot. Porridge, I suppose that's got cream and stuff. And Mr. Allen?
It's lovely.
When the roll is called up yonder.
Beautiful.
What will we eat with our coffee? There's a finish to it.
Then there's that little line by Ogden Nash. Candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker. But both liquor and candy are... Oh, yes, we have no bananas. Oily to bed, oily to rise. Never mind. Try this from Seymour Miller of Chicago, Illinois. A geographical question. This is the sort of thing that Mr. Adams is a shark at.
Yes.
Arrange these cities from east to west. Perhaps we first better explain what east and west are, Mr. Adams. Where we are, roughly speaking, is east. Now, going west, I'm going to ask you to arrange these cities in the order of their westernness, as it were. Here are the 4 cities. Fort Worth, Texas. Detroit, Michigan. Des Moines, Iowa, Birmingham, Alabama. Which is the eastest, and so forth. Now, one man has to answer this whole question, get it all right. I'll choose any one of you four who's intrepid enough to volunteer. Would you like to have the names of the towns ready again? Certainly. Fort Worth, Texas, Detroit, Michigan, Des Moines, Iowa, Birmingham, Alabama. Range them from east to west. Any error.
Gee, that's tough. Anybody want to try it?
Mr. Adams.
I think Birmingham is east.
You just keep going.
Is that right?
Oh, no, I'm not going to tell you. You arrange your four cities.
And what is the other ones? Detroit?
Well, of course, I can give you some easy ones like San Francisco.
Detroit, what?
You've got Detroit, Des Moines, and Fort Worth to fit in.
Des Moines is north of all of them.
Now, that's another question. That's good. That information will come in very handy at some other evening.
Fort Worth is west.
West of what? West of what?
Westernmost.
Okay. Now we've got Des Moines north. I'd rather have you just arrange it in the terms of its westernness, if you don't mind.
Westernness is Fort Worth.
Yeah, I know that. Now suppose we begin from the beginning. You've got Birmingham as the most eastern. Is that right? What's the one next west to that? Detroit, Des Moines, or Fort Worth?
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth. West. All right. And how about Detroit and Des Moines? Where do you fit them in?
I would put Detroit north of Des Moines.
Well, you know, this Adams is no fool.
That's right.
He's very slippery. All I care about, Mr. Adams, is what is their position with respect to their westernness, not their northernhood.
Oh.
See? Now I'm all balled up myself. I don't know. Mr. Kieran, would you like to straighten us out here?
Well, no, I know that in the north...
Oh, no, we have that. Never mind how north they are.
No, I'm not going to mention...
But don't use the word.
They are, but I mean, this continent, this North American continent is slantwise. It's tilted way off to the east.
According to Adams, it's cockeyed.
So I'd like to have a map in front of me as I went over there.
Look at Adams, that's
But I know Fort Worth is pretty far west.
I don't think you're doing any better than
I think Des Moines is probably the most westerly. Fort Worth might be next.
You know, I don't see how this country keeps together with citizens like you. No, I'll give you the answer, John. You're a little balled up here. Detroit is the most eastern one. Birmingham, Alabama, is the next further west one. Des Moines, Iowa, is the next further west one, and Fort Worth, as Mr. Adams said, is the westernmost of all. Mr. Adams, which is the most eastern? You see? Short memory. Okay, Detroit, Birmingham, Des Moines, Fort Worth. I don't know if there are any more encyclopedias left. We're going to give a set to Mr. Miller of Chicago, Illinois.
And now let's pause for a message from our announcer.
Thank you, and now back to our questions. Robert Nevins of Danbury, Connecticut, asks you to name these people who were active in sports or in the theater. Each of them has a chief claim to fame. Get 2 out of 3. This one's chief claim to fame was that Babe Ruth couldn't get a hit off him, or rarely did so, at any rate. Mr. Kieran.
That was a left-handed pitcher. He's now practicing in St. Louis, and he's a very good doctor.
That's all right.
Hugh Pruitt.
Yeah, Doc Pruitt. Is he a doctor or a dentist?
I believe he's... I don't know which he is.
I think he's a dentist. I may be wrong here. Doc Pruitt. Why couldn't Babe Ruth get a hit off him?
I don't know. He was psychosomatic, maybe. He had him jinxed anyhow.
No.
He had a great big wide hook, as they used to call it, a big curve, and he baffled Babe a few times. And really, it was humorous to see what he did to him. I think he struck him out 11 times in 13 tries.
Was that so? Psychosomatic, eh?
That's right.
Ruth was called a lot of things, but he was never called psychosomatic. Now, this one's chief claim to fame was that he was the best bad actor in the world. Mr. Lindsay.
So that was Course Payton.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Did he bill himself as the best
As
bad
the
actor?
best bad actor in the world. He
Mr.
played in
Lindsay.
Brooklyn, too.
He played the Brooklyn Stock Company.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, Mr. Lindsay, although this seems a tactless question to ask of you, who are so good an actor, is it hard to be a good bad actor?
Is it hard to be a good bad actor?
Yeah.
It's hard to be a successful bad actor.
I mean, Payton must have had a specific, Mr. Allen?
It's hard to admit it. It's...
How about this one? His greatest achievement was that he gave Jack Dempsey the most trouble in Dempsey's pre-championship days. I'd never heard of this fighter, but Mr. Kieran has.
Fat Willie Meehan.
Yes. Willie was his middle name?
What?
Christened Fat, was he?
No, he was christened Meehan, but he earned the fat part.
By the sweat of his brow.
Well, no, by not sweating enough. He fought 2 4-round bouts with Dempsey, I think, in the early Dempsey days, and after that he had enough brain left to keep away from Dempsey for a lifetime.
Good enough. That's absolutely right. Well, gentlemen, did very well on that. Now, gentlemen, I'm going to give Mr. Kieran a rest on the next question. Mr. Kieran, you will agree to be out of this except to act as a judge, because Mr. Kieran himself has prepared the next question for the three of you. Mr. Kieran's written another book called Introduction to Birds. All of whom he knows socially.
You mean that?
And he has sent this book to all the members of our panel tonight. And he'd like to know if they've taken the trouble to read the book. So he's prepared a question based on the contents of the book. And here it is. Now, Mr. Kieran, you just keep quiet until the very end, and then you can come in and judge this if you wish. Here are some questions about baseball that can be answered by giving the names of birds. For instance, if I asked you what you would do if you were at bat and the pitcher let one go at your head, your answer would be give the name of a bird.
Flycatcher.
Oh, heavens. In your mouth. That's right. We're going to get our ornithology pretty well bollocked up here. Now, that was just an example. That doesn't count, Mr. Adams. The pitcher is let's fly with a ball right at your bean, you see. What would you do? You wouldn't open your mouth and catch the ball.
No, I'd trot along to first base.
Mr.
Duck.
Duck, yes. That's the name of a bird. Mr. Allen represents the sobering influence on this program. Now that was just for instance, see? Now here come the real questions. What are we going to do with Adams, Mr. Kieran, on this one?
Looks like he'll win one.
He win, do he? How about this? Now there's a bird family that has some of the qualities of the DiMaggio family. I don't say they can hit as well as DiMaggio, but if there's anything in the name, they ought to be helpful in any outfield. What birds are those?
The flycatcher.
That out, boy. Useful dog. You know, John, he doesn't need the introduction to birds. How do you think the birds would like him if they were introduced to him? Here's another baseball question Mr. Kieran's doped out for us. You all know the Brooklyn Dodgers are famous for doing odd things on the big league diamond. Now, what bird or birds, judging from their names, might fit in with a pattern of baseball for which the Dodgers are famed? You know the kind of baseball they sometimes play. Now, what sort of bird would answer that description? Now, we're through with flycatcher, Adams. I don't want to... It is hard, unless you've read Kieran's book, which I see you haven't done.
Well, I'm a member of the Audubon Society, and I don't know. I don't even know where the Audubon Society is, and
Well, that's a fine ad for the Audubon Society.
It is. To keep the likes of me out, it's a great ad for them.
Isn't it true, Mr. Allen, that you are a bird fancier of a small sort yourself?
Well, I know a few of the California birds, like the stucco pecker, because there's no wood out there for the woodpecker, so it pecks stucco in that area.
Know any others? Maybe we can fit this in somehow.
Well, no.
All right, Mr. Well, now, the kind of birds that would sort of fit in with the Dodgers' pattern of baseball might be, says Mr. Kieran, a cuckoo. See, get it?
No.
Or a loon. Get it?
A loon, yeah.
A loon. Or I would add, Mr. Kieran, a booby. Isn't there a bird known as a booby?
That's right. That's a southern bird. They don't come as far north as Brooklyn.
Okay. Now, that's one wrong. Of course, they may never read your book anyway, John.
After this, the sentiment's going to be against it, I think.
Let's try this third one, Mr. Allen. Now, if you were a manager, a big league manager, of course, and you had a good pitcher opposing you, who happened to be a poor fielder, what strategy would you use to upset him? The answer must be the name of a bird. What strategy would you use? What would you suggest that the batter do? Isn't that what it means, Mr. Kieran?
Bunt.
Is that a bird?
I don't know. If John will make it one.
Mr. Kieran?
It's very close. I think he knows.
Bunty?
The participle of bunt, yes. As soon as the bird becomes a participle, it's okay. Bunting. What sort of a bird is a bunting, Mr. Kieran?
Well, in different parts of the country, we have different colored ones. Our one here is an indigo bunting. It's a real dark bluish purple bird. The male is, anyhow.
Yeah.
Female couldn't play in that game.
In what game?
In the
Dodgers game.
No. Didn't have enough color.
Not enough color. Well, now we're supposed to
bunting,
get
you make flags out of it, too, don't you? You have enough bird left over to make a flag out of it?
Yeah. One of those flag catchers that he was talking about.
Oh, that's for Frank catcher.
Yeah. Well, we only got 2 out of 3, Mr. Kieran. What do we do? Send you an encyclopedia?
No, they have to give back the books.
I think I'll have to make some special arrangement about the encyclopedia for Mr. Kieran. He knows the contents
Speaking of
already.
baseball, there are a lot of good pitchers in that book.
That's very good, Mr. Adams. Okay.
And now let's pause for a message from our announcer.
Thank you. We'll resume with a question from Murray Moss of New York City. Mr. Kahn, our pianist, is going to help us on this. We're going to hear 3 songs played by Mr. Kahn. Can you tell us in each case whether the character referred to in the song is in the dough or out of the dough? In the money or out of the money? Poor or rich, Mr. Allen, in case this isn't clear to you. Let's have the first.
Dough is foreign.
Thank you, Mr. Kahn. I have 3 beautiful, clean, white hands. Suppose I start with Mr. Allen.
Rufus Rastus Johnson Brown.
Yeah, what's the next line?
What are you going to do when the rent comes around?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to pay?
How are you going to pay?
How are you going to pay?
You'll never have a rusty central judgment day.
Well, these gentlemen are older than I, of course. If you want the full lyrics, you've got to listen to them.
That's true, but we had to go to some
trouble to get them.
Written by A.
Baldwin Sloan.
I beg pardon?
It was written by A. Baldwin Sloan.
It was written, you mean the words?
No, the music.
Oh, the music. Says here Harry von Tilsa. What did he write, words and music?
He wrote both sometime.
I think he did in this case, too, but I'm not sure.
No.
All right. You got me intimidated. Well, Mr. Brown in this song is, of course, in pretty bad shape financially, Mr. Allen. Broke.
He wouldn't have the trouble today because of the rent ceilings. He probably would be in a better position.
Wouldn't he, though? Mr. Kahn, the next one. Mr. Adams.
Would be in the dough.
Why?
Because he's the man that broke the bank at Monte Carlo.
Good enough. Who wrote that?
You got me there.
If I tell you, will you remember it next time?
Yep.
I don't know what advantage that'll be. Song by Fred Gilbert. Gilbert. Remember him?
We're speaking about him coming up. Fred Gilbert. Yeah, sure.
Would you boys care to take 10 minutes out for reminiscences? All right. Now the third, Mr. Kahn. This is kind of tricky, Mr. Lindsay. Be careful.
It is a little tricky.
Okay.
Depends upon how you evaluate
That's
the girl.
Right. That's right. Now you better explain that.
She was $1 million baby.
Where was she?
Whom he met in the 5 and 10 cent store.
That's right.
By Billy Rose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you can't tell whether she was in the dough or out of it.
No, but he felt pretty. The fellow that's singing the song feels pretty good. He feels as though he's in the dough.
She might be in the dough shortly after the song is over.
He built a cottage for her.
That's true.
If he was in the dough, he'd hardly be around the 5 and 10 cent store, I don't think. Unless...
That's why she had $1 million.
What was he doing in there? I mean, the man with the...
He kept buying China.
I see no reason whatsoever to work out the plot of this thing.
Well, I might clarify it.
Well, we really don't know whether she was rich or not. I don't know. She might get into the dough, probably.
No point to the question, then.
That's true.
Sure.
But we'll never use this one again. And how about this one from Arnold Chippendale of Camden, Ohio? According to old gags, what is the standard answer to these remarks? Mother says to the little boy, have you taken a bath? What's the answer? Mr. Allen.
No, is there one missing?
Good. That's remarkably... You know, that little boy is the one who writes the radio shows, I think.
Yes, he's also in television now, too.
How about this one? Doctor says to a man, don't like your wife's looks. What's he say? Doctor says to a man, I don't like your wife's looks. Mr. Adams.
I don't like them either.
Good. That's good. Would-be bridegroom, whispers, why did you bring me here? She's ugly, squints, has bad teeth, and is bleary-eyed.
And she has other faults.
You've cleaned it up. Mr.
Yeah, you can talk louder. She's deaf, too.
Good. We haven't had jokes as good as that on this program for years, Mr. Allen. Okay, here's one from Isidore Greenberg of Brooklyn, New York. Who were these women who, according to history or legend, did the following things? Get 2 out of 3 on this. This one fired rifle shots through playing cards tossed in the air. Who was that? Mr. Lindsay.
Annie Oakley.
Annie Oakley, yes. How in your profession, Mr. Lindsay, Annie Oakley has a definite meaning, doesn't it?
Well, it means a free seat at the box office.
How did it happen to be connected with Annie Oakley?
The ticket is always punched when it's complimentary, and there's a hole through the ticket. So that relates to the bullet hole through the card, and that's an Annie Oakley.
Absolutely right. 100%.
But not at any of Howard's shows. You don't have them at any of your shows.
How about this one? She took her husband's place at firing a cannon. Who did that? Took her husband's place at firing a cannon. Mr. Kieran.
Molly Pitcher.
Molly Pitcher. At least that's what people say. What's the story about Molly Pitcher, Mr. Kieran?
Well, of course, that was a sort of catch-as-catch-can war in those days, and...
What days?
There were no rules for entrance. Anybody could get in the Revolution.
Yes.
It was the Battle of Monmouth, wasn't it?
Battle of Monmouth, right down here in New Jersey.
That's right. They have a racetrack down there now.
They have a statue to Molly Pitcher, too. Keep it clean.
There used to be a woman with the circus who fired the cannon, the Zaccarinis, sometimes when her husband was loaded and the cannon wasn't.
I'm sorry we can't finish the question. That's all we'll have time for. Our best thanks to Mr. Allen and Mr. Lindsay. Let's see. We've paid out 3 sets of the Encyclopedia Britannica. And before I tell you about our guests for next week, here's a message from our announcer. Next week, our guests will be Harold Stassen and Russell Krauss. Goodbye until next week, when we hope you'll all join our Information Please party.
Vitalis and Truchet bring you the biggest money-paying show on the air, Break the Bank. I broke the bank for $2,380.
I broke the bank for $2,900.
I broke the bank for $5,970. Break the bank. This is Bud Collier welcoming you to the first NBC broadcast of Break the Bank, presented by Bristol Myers, makers of those 2 famous products, Vitalis to keep your hair well groomed, and Truchet, the beforehand lotion. Vitalis and Truchet. And now here is your master of ceremonies, that quizzical money man of the highest rank, with exactly $4,200 to start tonight's bank, Bert Hart. Bud Collier, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Break the Bank. We want to take this opportunity to welcome our new friends on NBC, and we hope they'll be old friends of ours before too very long. All right, we have a bank that's worth exactly $4,200. Here are our first contestants coming up to the microphone, and may I have your name, please?
Mrs. Alton Blaine.
And you, sir?
Mr. Allen Blaine.
From where?
New Fairfield, Connecticut.
Let's welcome them to our show. Come on up here, please. Mr. and Mrs. Blaine, right into our microphone, and welcome to the first show on NBC of Break the Bank. How are you? Just fine. Yeah, I'm glad to say. You sound a little southern, are you?
No.
Huh?
Very northern.
Where are you from originally?
Danbury, Connecticut.
Danbury, Connecticut. How long you married?
13 years.
Children?
We have 3.
Oh, how wonderful. 2 boys and a girl?
3 boys.
3 boys. That's wonderful. Well, now, you know, there may be some people who are not quite acquainted with how Break the Bank works, and while you're thinking over your category, which is called Outdoor Harmony, Bud Collier's going to set you right. All right, Bud? Right you are, Bud. Our contestants are all selected from our studio audience, and they select a category from a blackboard here on the stage, and then the number 1 question is worth $10, then $20, $50, $100, $200, $300, $500, and then the $1,000 question, or as in tonight's case, the $4,200 question, which breaks the bank. Now, the bank is always worth $1,000 or more, and every time the bank is broken, Vitalis and Trouchet start the bank going again with a brand new $1,000. All right, Bud? All right, now, Mr. and Mrs. Blaine from New Fairfield, Connecticut, before we start, I see you have a little moral support. Who is this young man, huh? Who's this young man here?
That's Tony Blaine.
Hello, Tony. You want to sit over there in the chair and help you? Just say hello so we know you're here. Hello, Tony.
Hello.
Hello, all right. What's your name, son?
Greg Blaine.
Now, remember, you applaud in the right places. Go and sit down. All right, here we go. Now, Mrs. Blaine, we're going to talk about outdoor harmony. And you know, with the summer about gone, we're bound to recall many a balmy summer night that we spent in the outdoors. So let's imagine we're gathered around a campfire, strumming a ukulele. We're singing some of the tunes that speak of the great outdoors. For $10, here's one with an outdoor favorite. It goes, by the light of a dee-dee-dee, we'll sit and spoon. What's the name of that one?
The Silvery Moon.
By the light of the Silvery Moon. That's it for $10. All right, that puts you at $10. You're reaching for 20. You go, you got to be on the outdoors for this one. I want Peter Van Steeden to play it, and you name it. Okay, Pete? Oh, you couldn't miss that one. That's it. You're now at $20. You're reaching for 50. Those 2 young men over there are applauding like mad. Okay, here's a tune that brought folks outdoors to see the, well, you tell them, Pete. Come on. Yes?
Showboat.
That's it. Here comes the showboat. You're reaching for $100. No mistake so far. $4,200 an hour. I pan in Vitalis Bank. He's wiping his brow already. All right. Come on up here close to the mic. We hear everything you have to say. In this song, the boy and girl are inside, and he wants no part of the outside because...
Cold outside.
Huh?
It's cold outside.
Baby, it's cold outside. You got it? You are now at $100. You're reaching for $200. $4,200 in the bank. Mr. Blaine, what would you do if you broke that bank tonight, huh?
Brother.
Well, that's a pretty good thing to do with it. I say that. All right. You're doing fine because you made no mistakes. $100 reaching for $200. Here's a song that has a definite outdoor flavor. Play it, Pete, and you name it, okay? Oh, very popular. Give it a try. 5 more seconds to go. What do you say? Remember, Bowman Road made it very popular. You know what it is? Oh, I'm sorry. Riders in the Sky. That's it. All right, only one mistake. You're back to $50. You're reaching again for $100. Pete and the boys are going to play a tune that bears the same name as the title of a hit movie of some years ago. Listen and give me the title.
Flying down to Rio.
You got it, boy. Flying down to Rio. That brings you right back up now to $100. You came out of that rut. You're reaching for $200. $4,200 still in that bank. Here's an outdoor setting for romance. Pete is going to play it. You give me the title. What do you say? Give it a try. What does it sound like? Yes? Mr. Blaine? Oh, I'm sorry. Shades of Night is the title. Shades of Night are falling here. The lovebirds calling from the trees above. It's been a great pleasure to have you here. I, Pan and Vitalis, take great pleasure in awarding you $100. Go over to our janitor, painkiller, and collect. Thank you.
Goes for guys who use Vitalis. They have handsome, healthy-looking hair, 'cause they give it live-action care. So be one of those well-groomed guys, well-groomed and Vitalis-wise. For live-action care of yourself and your hair.
Get Vitalis. Yes, sir. So socially and in business, too, a man has to look his best. So give your scalp and hair live-action Vitalis Care. Live-action care with Vitalis and the 60-second workout wakes up your scalp. You actually feel the difference, and Brother, she'll see the difference in your hair.
Yes, be one of those well-groomed guys.
Well-groomed and Vitalis wise.
Live-action care of your scalp and your hair.
Get Vitalis. Well, Bert, when our first contestants won $100, we had a like amount put into the bank by Vitalis and Trouchet, and our bank has now grown up to the sum of $4,300. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Ernest J. Unger and his friend Mr. Paul Hanshock, the latter of Little Ferry, New Jersey, and the other of Trenton, New Jersey. Say hello to Bert Park.
All right, let's welcome to our show. Are you Paul? Right into the microphone, Paul. And you are Ernest?
Right, Bert.
Good. Now, we have a category called the Subway World Series. Let's find out who has allegiance to who. Who is your team?
Mine is for the Brooklyn Dodgers, Bert.
I see. And how about you, young man?
Joe DiMaggio and the New York Yankees.
All right, now we have a little good-natured controversy here. Let's see how you come in. Now, remember, both of you have an opportunity to answer the question. You can talk between the two of you, but the first answer counts. Okay, here we go now. Greater New York is feeling great today because all it takes is a subway ride to see the greatest show in baseball, the World Series. And oh, yes, you have to have a ticket, too. Well, now let's look back at some World Series in which either the Yanks or the Dodgers took part in, and see if you can't make yourself the price of a box seat. For $10, the Yankees won the first game today. Now, who smashed that ninth-inning home run?
Tommy Henry.
Oh, before he even finished. That's it. All right. Give him a little shot of somebody. Come in a little closer. That's it. Now put your $10. You're reaching for 20. Can you tell me the last time the Yanks and the Dodgers tangled for the World Series championship?
1947.
You're right. 1947. You're at $20 now. You're reaching for 50. Incidentally, have either of you boys ever seen each other before?
No, sir. Before tonight.
Not
before tonight.
Is that right? I think you're a little close now. You're taking a bite out of this. You just step up here a little bit. That's fine. Okay. Now, we're still on that subject. How many times have the Yanks and the Dodgers battled each other in a World Series, including this one being played right now? How many times have they battled in a World Series, including the game they're playing, the series they're playing right now? How many? Now, very closely. Think about it. They're talking among each other. They've never seen each other before, but they're very close. They're talking back and forth, yes? How many times would you say?
7.
Oh, I'm sorry. Only 3 times. 1941, 47, and 49. The only 3 times they met. All right, you're back to 10. You're reaching again for 20. The last time the Yanks and the Dodgers tangled in the World Series was in 1947, of course. Now, who were the managers who masterminded their teams in that series in 1947? I want the Yankee manager and the Dodger manager. Yes?
No. Bucky Harris and Bert Shorten.
You got it, boy. That's it. You better let him do a little more. Come on up here, fella. You're now at $20 again. You're reaching for 50. Here we go. Here are some nicknames of players involved in this World Series, and see if you can give me their real names. 2 out of 3. Pee-wee.
Reese.
Joltin' Joe.
DiMaggio.
Scooter.
Rizzuto.
You got it. That's it. All right. That puts you back up to $50. You feel a little better now, don't you? You're Joe? Are you Paul? You're
Ernie.
Oh, that's it. Joe isn't here. I'm sorry. We left him off. Let's go. Brooklyn fans still get the heebie-jeebies when they recall the World Series of 1941. It was in that series that their star catcher,
Ricky Owen.
Wait a minute there. That call in here, that's the answer. That's it. I'd like to explain to you. The idea of the show is I ask you questions, then you give the answer. You don't give the answer, then I ask the question. All right, that's fine. Boy, did he know that one. I said 2 words, and he had the answer. Here we go. You're now at $100, by the way. You're doing fine. You've only made 1 mistake, so watch it closely now. $4,300 in the bank. You have to split it, you know, if you win. It's okay?
Yes, sir.
He's saying it right through clenched teeth. Yes, I know it. All right. What do you do, sir? What's your job?
I'm an elevator operator down to the Veterans Administration.
Oh, are you really? And what do you do?
I'm assistant claim agent for the Red Star Express lines.
Assistant what major?
Claim agent.
Oh, claim agent. I thought you said claim major. I don't know what they were doing down there. All right. $100, reaching for 200. In the 1941 World Series, the Yanks beat the Dodgers 4 games to 1. One Brooklyn pitcher was charged with 2 of those 4 defeats. Who was he? Now, wait a minute. Think about it. You said, that's not the answer. If you said,
Hugh Casey.
Who? Hugh Casey. You got it? Let me say this to you. When you get up to $200, even an counts. Believe me. All right. $200. You're reaching for 300. You're doing fine now. Your name again is?
Paul Hanshock.
And your name is?
Ernie Unger.
I want to keep that plug in there so we all know who you are. Now, the 7th and final game of the 1947 World Series was played on October 6th of that year. The Yanks and the Dodgers were tied with 3 victories apiece. This was the playoff game, and the Yanks won. Who was the Yankee pitcher who was credited with that all-important victory? This was in the 1947 World Series. They're talking it over. They have one mistake so far at $200, reaching for $300. Yes?
Joe Page.
You got it! Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are at a very crucial point in our show with $300, reaching for the gateway to the bank, which is $500. From this point on, fellas, remember, one answer and one answer only. No coaching from our audience. This may be it. In other words, if you answer the next 2 questions correctly, Ipana and Trouchet on this stage will present you with $4,300. Okay.
Hallelujah.
Here we go. Now, don't say, because it may count. Here we go. Listen very closely. The World Series started way back in 1903. Now, can you tell me in what year the Brooklyn Dodgers played their first World Series? The exact year that they played their first World Series.
It's a guess, Bert.
What do you say?
1906.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're just 10 years too early. It was 1916. They lost 4 games to 1, and that's it. You've done very well here tonight. Vitalis and Trouchet take great pleasure in presenting you and your newfound friend with $300. Go over to Janice, our painkiller, and collect. Well, that's the call for the wishbowl, friends. That's right. If you're 16 years old or over and live in one of the 48 states of the United States or in the District of Columbia and want an opportunity to break the bank, just mail a postcard giving your name, your address, and your telephone number addressed to Vitalis and Trouchet, Box 1313, Grand Central Station, New York 17, New York. Now, each Wednesday, we'll make a phone call between 9 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and invite the writer to appear on Break the Bank the following week. Vitalis and Trouchet will provide free round-trip transportation as available for 2. You live in a suite at the Hotel Statler in New York from Wednesday to Friday, and you'll be given $150 spending money in addition to any amount you win on the program. So mail your postcard giving your name, your address, and your telephone number to Vitalis and Trouchet, Box 1313, Grand Central Station, New York 17, New York, tonight. All right, now, Bert, here's our wishbowl contestant for tonight, or contestants, I should say, Mr. and Mrs. E. Myers of 68 Southwest 22nd Road, Miami, Florida. All right, let's rock them. Come on. All right. These are the people that we called in our wishbowl. Their card was picked out of our wishbowl, which you see here on the stage. Congratulations to you, Mr. and Mrs. Eugene Meyer. I'm very glad to see you.
Happy to be here, Bert.
Well, thank you.
Very, very happy.
Well, thank you very much. I didn't know you were going to care that much. But it's nice. Mr. Meyer, talk right in our microphone, sir, and tell us what do you do?
I'm a hairdresser.
Oh, are you in fine.
Miami, yes, sir.
Is that a specialty of the house?
Especially they big and beautiful.
Beg pardon? I mean, do you do crokinole, or what do you do?
Well, we do everything.
What is a crokinole?
Crokinole, you roll it the hair in a certain way.
You croak it in a certain way. I see. Your first visit to New York, Mr. Myers?
Oh, no. No, sir.
You've been here before?
Oh, yes.
May I ask how long you and Miss Myers have been married?
27 years.
Children? Do you have children? No little crokinole?
No little
I see. All right. Well, now, before we get down to your category, which is politics and petticoats, Bud Collier, will you escort Mrs. Meyer over to our wishbowl? This is the way we pick our wishbowl winner for next week. We have our wishbowl here on stage. Mrs. Meyer is going to dig into the wishbowl and pick out 3 cards. We'll call the first person. If they're not home, we call the second and third. And the person who answers the phone and is called from the selection of cards here on the stage will be invited to New York, all expenses paid, to appear on Break the Bank. All right, cards number 1 and 2 have been selected. Card number 3. Now come back, Mrs. Myers, and let's see if you can break that bank for
May I
$4,000.
say hello to my friends in Miami?
Who did you want to say hello to? Now,
I would love to
George
say hello.
and B.
George and B. Rockland.
No, I'm sorry, you can't do that. But however...
Hello, my friends in Miami.
All right,
Yes.
all right, here we
They
go.
are
Now,
calling for us.
thank
you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. All right, here we go. Now,
You're adorable.
Thank you, Mrs. Myers. All right. You know, ever since women began campaigning, would you get right into our microphone? We want to hear everything you have to say. Since women began campaigning for equal rights, we've had petticoats, you know, in politics, and I guess the girls are here to stay. So let's look over the political scene and see how the ladies are getting along. For $10, Mrs. Myers, a great lady in the United States, the United Nations. Today, and not long ago, she was our first lady. Who is she? She was our Mrs. Eleanor Roosevelt. That's right. Right in there. Equal rights for the fair sex. I want you to tell me which amendment to the Constitution gave the gals the right to vote. Now listen very closely. Was it the 18th, the 19th, or the 20th?
The 19th.
The 19th. That's it. All right. No coaching. All right. Here we go. You're now at $20. You're reaching for $50. This gal was not only congressman, but also a famous playwright. She's the wife of the editor-in-chief of Time magazine. What's her name?
Claire Bouteloup.
You got it, Mr. Myers. Good for you. All right. Yes. Tell me, are you having fun, Miss Myers?
Oh, look at my orchid. Aren't they so gorgeous? Oh, they're wonderful, Miss Myers.
Do you know? I want to tell you, I think that orchid has bloomed a little bit since you've been on the show.
I'm telling you, but you just gorgeous.
Oh, Mrs. Myers, you shouldn't have said that. Now, first time you've been on the radio?
First time.
Well, now, I want you to tell our prospective wishbowl winners who might be coming up here, or certainly will be coming up here week after week, isn't it a great thrill to be selected to come up?
I never will forget it as long as I live.
Into the microphone. She's giving it out to the side.
I never will forget these moments.
Yes.
As long as I live. And I'm really very, very grateful for that wonderful product that gave us the chance to be here.
You know, I'm grateful, too, for it. Thank you very much. All right, thank you. That's a very lovely speech. I appreciate it, Mrs. Myers. Well, now that you're enjoying yourself, let's hope you win a lot of money. That'll make it complete, won't it?
Oh, that would make me very happy.
Gee, we're just delirious here tonight, you know. We're $50. We're reaching for $100. California sent the pretty actress Helen Gahagan to Congress. In addition to her political chores, she is the wife of a famous screen actor. Name this famous movie actor to whom Helen Gahagan is married. She's from California. Who is the famous movie actor to whom Helen Gahagan is married? Very famous movie actor. No coaching, please. Oh, I wish I could help you with this. It's,
here's the hint. The first name of it.
No, I'm... Sir, do you know what it is? 5 more seconds to go.
Just your little hint.
No, I'm sorry. It's Melvin Douglas, the man I was talking about. All right, you're back now to $20. Try this one. The first woman to ever hold a cabinet post was FDR's Secretary of Labor, who served from 1933 to 1945. What was her name?
Perkins.
Frances Perkins. That brings you up the line. Now, you're at $50. You're reaching for $100. No mistakes from now on. Now, watch it closely. The president has just decided to include some petticoats in the diplomatic corps. Now, what famous Washington hostess did he recently appoint as minister to Luxembourg? Very famous name in the Washington scene. Now, the minister to Luxembourg, what is her name? No coaching, please. Very famous name in the news. She gives a lot of big parties in Washington, or did, rather.
Oh.
Yes, you know, sure.
No.
It's a pearl of a name if you could only think what it was. I'm sorry, do you know what it is? 5 more seconds to go, Mr. and Miss Myers. I'm sorry, I can't give you any more help. Do you know? No, it's Pearl Mester. Pearl Mester. But anyway, it's been a great pleasure to have you here. Our sponsors, Vitalis and Trouchet, take great pleasure in awarding you $50. Go over to Janice, our paying teller, and collect. Goodbye, Mr. Myers. Hello, Jan.
Hi, Bud.
Say, do you lead a double life?
A double life? Why, of course. And so does most every other woman. We're all working girls by day, dishes, washing, and so many other household chores. But at night, we're all glamour girls.
Even your hands?
Sure thing, Bud. But remember, there's always Trouchet, the beforehand lotion that helps keep workaday hands smooth and lovely for playtime hours.
Yes, Trouchet, the entirely new and different idea in hand care. A lotion so velvety and oil-rich, you use it beforehand to ward off roughening, drying soap and water damage.
So the time for fragrant Trouchet protection is before you get to work, before you put your hands in those hot suds.
You also can use Trouchet as you use an ordinary hand lotion, anytime your hands need a creamy, softening lotion.
So keep a bottle of Trouchet on your dressing table as well as in your kitchen.
For busy hands that are lovely, too, begin today to use Trouchet. Trouchet, the beforehand lotion. Proceedings here. It seems to me like I hear that wishbowl telephone call tonight. You want to take it? Yes, you remember a few moments ago, Mrs. Myers picked 3 cards from our wishbowl over here. We have found out who our wishbowl winner is for tonight. Let's pick up the phone and we'll see who it is. Hello? Yes, our wishbowl winner is who? Mrs. Gladys A. Curry. 2924 Hermosa Road, Santa Barbara, California. All right, put her on, please. Hello? Hello, Miss Curry? Hello, I can't quite hear you. Talk a little closer to the phone, please. Hello? Oh, wonderful. Is it Miss or Mrs.? Oh, Mrs. Curry. Well, fine. You know what has happened, of course. You have been selected as our wishbowl winner. We wonder if you can come to New York next Wednesday, all expenses paid, to appear on our show. Can you make it? You bringing Mr. Curry with you? Well, you can certainly bring Mr. Curry, and congratulations to you for being our Wishbone winner for tonight. Let's give her a nice hand. Thank you. Now, Bert, when our Wishbone winners who actually were here tonight won $50, Ipana and Trouchet added a like amount to the bank, and it's now gone up to $4,650. And I want to introduce now Mr. David Daniel Nutt and his fiancée, Miss Grace Quaranta. Step over here and say hello to All Bert right, Park. welcome to our show. How do you do? Very nice-looking young couple indeed. You are from Staten, and both of you are from Staten Island. You're
right,
engaged to
Bert.
be married?
we
May
are.
I ask when the important day is, Durant?
No date set yet.
No date set, I see. And how long have you known each other, Grace?
About 3 years, Bert.
Oh, wonderful. What do you do?
I'm secretary at the Anaconda Copper Mining Company downtown here in New York.
Oh, gee, that's a long sentence. And how about you, Danny?
I'm a reporter for the Staten Island Advance, Bert.
Oh, well, that's swell. We wish you a lot of luck, and maybe if you crack that bank for $4,650, it may change your plans and speed up that projected project a little bit, huh?
Yeah, it might.
Okay, here we go. Now, we're going to talk, strangely enough, about Danny, boy. Since you are Danny, you picked yourself a category about a namesake of yours, so you better be sharp and answer these questions about Dan, Daniels, and Dannies in real life and fiction. Now, just to get the idea rolling, there was a Daniel in the Bible who got involved with some wild animals in a certain place. Now, whose den did Daniel get into?
Lions.
That's it, just to give you an idea how it got. Now, you made $10. You're reaching for 20. Here's a Danny you should know. He's the star of stage and screen, was in such movie hits as The Kid from Brooklyn and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Danny who?
Kay.
Danny Kaye, that's right. That's $20. All kids would like to be like this Daniel. He was a frontiersman. You know it already?
Boone.
Daniel Boone, that's right. You're now at 50, reaching for 100. Peter Van Steen is going to play a famous melody, and I have a question about it. First, listen to the tune. All right, now wait a minute. This, of course, is known to many as Danny Boy. Is that right? Now, give me its other famous title.
London Derriere.
London Derriere. Good for you. Now, that puts you at $100. Miss Quaranta and Mr. Nutt, you're now at $100, reaching for $200. This Daniel was a famous American statesman, born in New Hampshire in 1782. He served in Congress, became noted as a great orator. You know it already?
Can't miss it. I went to Dartmouth. Webster.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, Dan. Now, you are at $200. You have made no mistakes so far. Now, listen very closely to these questions from here on in. Here are some famous lines about a Danny in poetry. For they're hanging Danny Deaver. You can hear the Dead March play. The regiments in Hollow Square, they're hanging him today. They've taken off his buttons and cut his stripes away, and they're hanging Danny Deaver in the morning. Now, who wrote those memorable lines about Danny Deaver?
Rudyard Kipling?
You got it, Rudyard Kipling. Oh, and she just, as she was listening to it, she said, I got it, I'm good. All right. You're now at $300, reaching for the gateway to the bank, which is $500 again. I'd like to caution our studio audience, no coaching, to you, Mr. and Mrs. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Nutt and Miss Granto. One answer only. There is a great Danny of the baseball diamond who boasts an amazing record. In 1942, while playing the outfield for the Phillies in the National League, he went 151 games without an error for the almost impossible average of 1,000 for the season. That isn't just good, it's perfect. Now, who was that Danny? In 1942, playing the outfield for the Phillies in the National League. Danny
Litweiler?
Danny Litweiler, you got it! I hate to have to break in and you're cutting over the clock. Run around, you want to ask the usual question. You're at $500. The next question could break the bank, but our time is up. Do you want to accept your $500 now, or come back next week and see if you can break the bank for $4,650? And if you say anything else to what I
We'll be back.
You'll be back. All right, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Well, remember, friends, send that postcard to Vitalis and Trouchet, box number 1313, Grand Central Station, New York, 17, New York, with your name, your address, and your telephone number to enter the radio wishbowl. Yes, and be with us next Wednesday, October 12th, for the drawing of the next wishbowl winner. It may be you. And by the way, we'll be on just half an hour from now in many cities with a television version of Break the Bank. Consult your newspaper for your nearest station. The bank is now worth $4,650. Break the Bank is brought to you by the makers of Vitalis and Trouchet. To keep your hair well groomed, remember Vitalis. And for softer, lovelier hands, remember Trouchet. Join us again October 12th. The makers of Vitalis and Trouchet bring you another group of contestants who do their best to break the bank. And we'll draw another wishbowl winner.
Here's fast pain relief, really fast pain relief with a remarkable new product. The name is Bufferin.
Bufferin acts twice as fast as aspirin, yet will not disagree with you.
Bufferin gets into your bloodstream twice as fast as aspirin, so goes to work twice as fast to relieve your pain.
Bufferin acts twice as fast as aspirin.
You're tuned for the stars on NBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't tell a soul, but the secret word tonight is clock. C-L-O-C-K.
Really?
You bet your life. Elgin American, creator of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, magic action lighters, finest dresser sets, presents Groucho Marx in the Elgin American show, You Bet Your Life. The comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here's that sterling Elgin American, the one, the only...
Face is familiar, but I don't place the name. Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $2,000 for one of our couples tonight. George Fenneman, who's first to try and take it away from me?
Just before we went on the air, we asked if there were any youngsters present who'd like to get married someday if they found the right partner. And our studio audience selected Valerie Cote and Mike Maloof. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts. And if you say the secret word at any time we're talking, I'll pay $100 in cash instantly. It's a common word, something you see every day. Valerie Cote, is that the way you
That's
pronounce
right.
it? Where are you from, Valerie?
I'm a native.
Native of what?
California.
Of California. Huh? And Mike? Mike Maloof?
Yes, sir.
Where's your hometown, Mike?
I'm a native also.
Oh. What a coincidence, huh? You're both in the same train. Hmm? How old are you, Mike?
I'm 25.
And how old are you, Valerie?
19.
Tell me, why would you like to get married?
Home, children, security.
Mm-hmm. You can get that at the bank, you know. And, Mike, why would you like to get married?
Well, sir, I have no particular reason.
Well, don't start thinking of any reasons or you'll change your mind. By the way, what sort of work do you do, Mike?
Well, I'm the chief usher at the Paramount Hollywood Theater.
Oh, West Point graduate, huh? Well, hush my mouth. Say, if you two are married, you could set up housekeeping in the lobby, huh? You could live on popcorn. That's in case you wanted to butter him up. You understand. Where do you work, Valerie?
I'm a fountain girl.
Would you give me that again, please?
I'm a fountain girl.
You're a fountain girl? What park do you spout in?
I don't spout.
You don't spout?
No, I work at Chapman's Soda Fountain.
Oh, I see. What do you do at your soda fountain?
Make Cokes, sodas, shakes.
And shakes?
Shakes.
Would you mind shaking for me now? Mike, let's get back to you. You're still here, I presume,
Yes, sir,
huh?
I am.
Well, you'll have to wait. There aren't any seats. As an usher, just what do you do, Mike?
Well, sir, I'm in charge of all the ushers. I schedule their days off and make sure that everything runs smoothly when people come into the theater.
Well, what are some of the complaints you have against movie customers, Mike?
One of our biggest annoyances would be people in the balcony, young kids shooting water all over the audience on the main floor with little water pistols. They're awful hard to find.
Yeah, they're hard to find? You mean the pistols are hard to find?
Yes, they're hiding in their coats when we come to look for them.
Uh-huh. Well, you must spend some very interesting moments, huh? Looking for concealed water pistols in the balcony. Do you ever send 5 people into a row where there's only 3 seats?
Well, that happens occasionally.
Mm-hmm. And what happens then?
Well, they come out the other end.
Well, you're a charming couple, and we want you to each have a gift from our sponsor.
For Miss Valerie Cote, Elgin American's exclusive heart-shaped compact that's entirely different. It's jeweler's bronze that looks like gold.
And it goes with my outfit, too.
Well, good.
Well, Mike will go with your outfit, too.
And for Mike Maloof, Elgin American's popular cigarette case with today's smart leather-like look, something to show off, Mike.
Thank you very much. It's lovely.
Mike, are you interested in any particular girl?
No, I'm not.
Are you interested in a girl if she's particular?
I don't mean that. I mean, I'm no special girl at the moment.
Some usher. He doesn't even have a lady in the balcony. Now, what's the favorite dish you make at your fountain, Valerie?
It's the ice cream banquet. It's
The
60
ice
cents.
cream banquet?
Mm-hmm. We have
How do you make it?
we have a scoop of chocolate, scoop of vanilla, scoop of strawberry, scoop of coffee, scoop of peach, scoop of banana nut, scoop of lemon stick, fresh peaches, pineapples, strawberries, raspberries, marshmallow, cold fudge, real whipped cream, pecans, almonds, walnuts, and a cherry.
And how much extra is the stomach pump? Well, are you fond of soda fountain specials, Mike?
Yes, sir, I am.
I'm not talking about Valerie here, you know. Although she's not a bad dish. Would you like to go to a movie with him, Valerie?
Oh, I think so.
And Mike, would you like to hold hands with a girl like in your theater?
Yes, sir.
You'd like to hold hands with a girl in your theater? Very romantic picture. You holding hands with a girl as you run up and down the aisle. Valerie, you better have very long arms. Now answer yes or no. Will you take this girl to your movie?
Yes, sir.
Then I now pronounce you double features. And may you have many selected short subjects. Well, I hope we started something between you two here tonight. And if anything besides a double marshmallow sundae develops, be sure to let us know. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to work together for $2,000. Right now, pay attention to this.
Marie Gibson, what exquisite pearls. Been robbing a bank?
Only my piggy bank. These are Elgin American pearls, and very reasonable.
Well, of course, everything Elgin American is so beautiful, whatever you pay.
You said it. Everything with the Elgin American name is the very finest quality, fashion, and value. That's why Elgin American's new simulated pearls couldn't be just ordinary pearls. They had to be supreme, and they are. Rare in quality, rich in opalescence, beautifully matched, distinctively clasped. Perfect with your loveliest clothes and accessories. Yet these glorious Elgin American pearls cost just $2 to $20 plus tax. You've never known such values. Buy these pearl beauties tomorrow for your own adornment, for gorgeous gifts handsomely packaged. They're the simulated pearls of all time, Elgin American pearls.
Now then, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $2,000 question. You're going to play You Bet Your Life. Fenneman, bring them up to date on the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they won on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $2,000 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high you can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Movie star.
Married names of movie stars. Yes. Is that right? All right, here's your first question. How much will you bet? You've got $20.
10.
10? Shirley Aga is her married name. What is her screen name?
Temple. Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple is right.
And they're off to a great start, Groucho. They have $30.
How much of your $30 will you bet?
15.
15? What is Esther Gage's screen name?
Esther Williams.
Esther Williams is correct.
They're on their way. They have $45.
Here's your third question. How much of the 45 are you going to risk?
20.
20? What is Betty Briskin's screen name?
Betty Hutton.
Betty Hutton. These fellas too smart.
They're really on their way. They have $65.
No wonder he's a general in that movie theater now. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 65 are you going to try?
50.
50. Okay. What is Jane Waterfield's screen name?
Jane Russell.
Jane Russell is on the nose.
And they wind up with a grand total of $115.
Very good. Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Don't run off now. You still have a chance at the big question. Who's next, George?
A married man selected from our studio audience and as his partner, a mind reader. They've been off stage, so they don't know the secret word is clock. The gentleman is Mr. Bob Lampert, and the mind reader, Mrs. Roberta Vincent. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to the Elgin American program. And if you say the secret word at any time we're talking... Wait a minute, a mind reader. She probably knows what the secret word is already. Having a secret word with a mind reader is like carrying coals to John L. Lewis. Roberta, let's make it fair. If your partner says the secret word, I'll pay $100 instantly. It's a common word, something you see every day. And you're the partner, Bob Lampert. Huh? You're a mind reader, eh, Roberta?
That's right.
I'm surprised you're still speaking to me, then. Where are you from, Roberta?
Originally from Kansas City, Missouri.
Mr. Bob Lampert, huh? Lampert?
That's right.
Where are you from?
Santa Ana.
What sort of work do you do?
I'm in the sporting goods business.
What kind of sporting goods?
Oh, rackets, fishing tackle.
Rackets?
Tennis rackets.
How long have you been in the racket, huh?
Oh, about 5 years.
Mm-hmm. How'd you meet your wife, Bob?
Well, I met her in her sleep.
What do you mean you met her in your sleep?
She was going to school at the time up at San Jose State. And it seems as though she overworks or crams or anything while she's a sleepwalker. Well, this night I happened to be walking down the street and I saw this job in the pink pajamas.
You saw this job, did you say?
That was before I was married to her.
And did you apply for a job?
Later on I did.
So, what happened?
There she was, and it's about 2 o'clock in the morning, I guess.
Hey, you said clock, and that's the secret word. That means you just won yourself $100. There it is. Congratulations. Now, where were we when that clock struck, huh?
We were at 2 in the morning.
That's right. You were on the main street and you were chasing a girl in her pajamas. So what happened?
I went up, woke her up, and took her back to the house, and we got acquainted, and I kept coming back.
Like a song? Roberta, do you have any little prophets at home?
I have 2 of them.
What does your husband do, Roberta?
Well, he's the superintendent of Olds Manufacturing Company.
Well, how did he feel marrying a mind reader?
He didn't realize he was marrying a mind reader. He didn't know it for a year, just about a year after he was married.
Now, how did he find out?
Well, my bank account was so large and his was so small he couldn't just figure it out.
And do you split the money now? I mean, are you...
Well, he uses all mine and all his, so that's what works.
No. That's a nice arrangement, huh?
He doesn't object to it.
In addition to your bank account, what does your husband like about you particularly?
Oh, I'm a good cook, and I have a very nice disposition.
Mm-hmm. You look very amiable. Huh? Always cheerful. Huh?
Always very cheerful.
Your husband is a very fortunate man. Huh? Not many people that have found a happy medium. Huh? How would you like to be married to a mind reader, Mr. Lampert? Huh?
Might as well be. I can't keep a secret from my wife anyway.
See, how long have you been married, did you say?
7 years.
7 years. And how old is your wife?
29.
Do you think your wife wants you to broadcast that little piece of information? On CBS, where 99 million people gather every week?
Hadn't thought of that.
Roberta, where do you do this mind reading?
Well, at the various Bell clubs and Eastern Stars and schools.
Well, I don't go in for mind reading. The keyhole is good enough for me. Which do you find the hardest to read, a woman's mind or a man's?
Oh, a man's mind, much harder.
Well, why is that?
A woman will believe anything you tell her.
Not when you stagger in at 3 o'clock in the morning, huh? Now, suppose I took a $20 bill out of my pants pocket. Could you tell me the serial number on it?
Yes, I could.
Could you also tell me whose pants I was wearing? Suppose you run into some schmo whose mind is a complete blank. What do you do then?
Well, no person has a completely blank mind.
Have you ever been in a nightclub around 4 in the morning? Mr. Lampert, do you agree with what she said? Roberta, I rest my case. Well, you make an interesting couple, and we want both of you to have some lovely gifts from our sponsor. Fenneman, would you mind doing the honors?
Not at all. For Mrs. Vincent, Elgin American's beautiful dresser set in jeweler's bronze with a look of gold.
Did you know you were going to get that, Roberta?
No, I didn't.
Fine mind reader, huh? Funny, I knew it, and I'm not a mind reader.
And for Mr. Bob Lampert, pearls for your wife. Elgin American's beautiful pearls. They're the finest pearls made by man. I'm sure your wife will enjoy them, Bob.
Very nice.
Well, now let's play You Bet Your Life for $2,000. Run your $20 into more than our other couples, and you get the chance at the big question later. Now, wait a second. Roberta ought to know all the answers. She'd win on a walk. Mr. Lampert, is your wife in the audience?
Yes, she is.
Would you ask her to come up here and participate in the quiz?
Hey.
She can be your partner.
Come on up, Ellen.
Ellen, come on up, will you? You see, nobody's safe while we're doing this show. How is it you're not in your pajamas, Helen? Hello, Mrs. Lampert. Welcome for Elgin American Compacts. Do you think you're going to be of much help to your husband?
He's going to need help when I get him home.
Well, you help him with the answers, and perhaps he'll win enough to buy you a new mink coat. All right, Fenneman's off stage to remind our listeners how much the first couple won.
The usher and the soda fountain girl won $115.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Down on the farm.
Down on the farm. You're a farm boy, huh? Here's your first question. How much will you bet? You've got $20.
Bet 10.
10? What kind of an animal is a Guernsey?
It's a cow.
They're off to a good start. They have $30.
Now, remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. How much of your $30 will you bet?
25.
What kind of an animal is a shire? S-H-I-R-E.
It's a goat.
No, I'm sorry. It's a horse.
They now have $5.
Well, now you've only got $5. Now, here's your third question. How much of the 5 are you going to try?
Shoot the 5.
Shoot the 5. All right. What is a Plymouth Rock?
The chicken.
The chicken is correct.
They're on their way again. They have $10.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the $10 you going to risk?
Shoot the 10.
Shoot the 10. What kind of an animal is a Holstein?
It's a cow.
It's a cow is correct.
They wind up with $20, Groucho, and on top of that, they said the secret word, so they got an extra $100.
Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Now, in just 1 minute, our last couple will play You Bet Your Life, and then we'll know who gets the $2,000 question. Now, something I especially want you to hear, so listen closely.
Got a match, Alice?
Not me. Here, use my lighter and be impressed. It's an Elgin American socialite.
Hey, I am impressed. It's a beauty. Beauty is right in looks, in operation, in value. Elgin American's amazing new socialites are the handsomest lighters you've ever seen. Exquisitely styled and finished. Magic action that keeps the light going without thumb pressure. Double action catch. It's different, it's new, it's safe. And the beauty of the value. Models for men and women start at just $4.95. Table models from $9.95. They're terrific buys. See them tomorrow for your own sake and for matchless gifts. And see Elgin American's companion line of American beauty lighters, too. For beauty, performance, and value, buy the lighters that beat them all. Elgin American lighters.
Now then, we'll soon know who's going to earn the most money and get the chance at the $2,000 question. George, who's ahead so far?
The usher and the soda fountain girl are leading with $115. Our final couple has been in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know the secret word is clock. And here they are. A volunteer from the Travelers Aid Society, Miss Nora Broach, and ship's purser Glenwood Hines. Meet Groucho Marx.
Hello, folks, and welcome to You Bet Your Life. If you say the secret word at any time we're talking, I'll pay $100 in cash instantly. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Broach?
Miss Broach.
Miss Broach, that's a good name for a woman on a jewelry show, isn't it? Mrs. I'll call you Nora, huh?
All right.
You're with the Travelers Aid, eh? Tell me, just where do you travel?
I don't travel.
Well, where are you from?
Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
How'd you get here?
I took a train.
Pretty smooth article, isn't it? It isn't easy swiping a train, you know. They leave those telltale tracks all the time. Why's Hines, Glenwood Hines, huh? You sound like a summer resort. You know, you ask somebody, where have you been? He said, I was up to Glenwood Hines for a couple of weeks. Now, Purser, what do you do on your ship besides snatch purses?
Oh, I listen to people's complaints and make out the payroll.
Tell me something about your boat.
Well, it isn't a boat, it's a ship.
Wise guy. Yeah. Well, how much do you charge for a bucket of live bait on your ship?
It's a passenger ship.
A passenger?
Passenger
Well,
ship.
how much do you charge for a bucket of live passengers on your ship? Just where does your mudscow go? All the romantic far-off places like Singapore, Cairo, Bali?
No, we go to Catalina. That's romantic.
Catalina, is that the total length of your voyage? From Los Angeles to Catalina?
No, go to...
Where else do you go?
Catalina to Los Angeles.
Man the lifeboats, mate. I struck a rock. How big is your ship, Glenwood?
Oh, it's about 300 feet long and 52 feet in width.
What's her capacity?
Oh, it's about 1,950 passengers.
Is that fully loaded?
Well, the ship, not the passengers.
You're turning into a joke snatcher. I was laying for that joke, too. Now tell me, Moby Dick, how long How long this tramp steamer you're on? How long does it take to make your Catalina trip?
Which way?
Any way but down. Huh? How long to Avalon?
It takes about 2 hours and 10 minutes, sir.
And coming back?
About 2 hours.
Why is it faster coming back? Is it downhill?
No, we take a different route and it's a little shorter.
You take a different route?
And it's a
Why,
little
you
shorter.
get sick of the scenery on the other? You ever get seasick?
No.
Has the airplane business hurt the boat business much going on?
I don't know. Airplane passengers, they get seasick and they come aboard and take the ship ride, and vice versa.
I never took the vice versa. Is that boat? That's a much smaller boat, isn't it? Now, what do these people do once they reach Catalina?
Well, they usually go up to the famous bird park, Seal Rock Colony, and they also take the famous glass-bottom boat ride.
Glass-bottom boats?
Glass-bottom boat, yes, sir.
I've heard of boxes with glass jaws, but never with glass... Well, never mind. Why do they have a glass bottom?
Well, so they can see the marine life.
Well, some of those Marines have very interesting lives. However, I didn't know you could see them through a glass-bottom boat. Well, let's get back to you, Nora. It's good to see you again. Did you have a nice trip?
I haven't traveled anywhere.
Well, it's done you a lot of good, anyway. As a traveler's aid worker, just what do you do?
Oh, we help people who come into the station who are lost. We give them information and direction service.
Well, what do you get for all this trouble? That's,
I don't get paid for it. It's volunteer service.
And why do you go to all this trouble if you don't get paid for it? Hanging around the station.
Well, it's very interesting work, and there's a good deal of satisfaction in helping people.
Well, that's a wonderful philosophy. Do you have any other job, Nora?
Yes, I work at the Los Angeles Credit Managers Association.
Well, what are your hours there?
From 8 o'clock in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon.
If I'd only learn to keep my big mouth shut, huh? Well, Nora, you just said clock, and that's the secret word tonight, so you just made yourself $100. I see the sailor is horning in on it over there. A typical sailor, huh? Well, you make a very interesting couple, and to show you our appreciation, Fenneman has some attractive gifts from our sponsors. Go ahead, George.
Gladly, Groucho, for Miss Nora Broach, pearls. The finest simulated pearls at any price. Elgin American pearls from the island of Majorca.
Oh, they're just beautiful.
For our purser, this slim, sleek, sterling silver cigarette case by Elgin American, handsomely hand-engraved.
Thanks a lot.
Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life. If you beat our other two couples, you'll get a crack at the $2,000. I can't tell you how much they won, but George is off stage to remind our listeners.
The usher and the soda fountain girl are still ahead with $115.
Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Capitals of the world.
Capital cities of the world. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
$10.
$10. What is the capital city of Spain?
Madrid.
Madrid is correct.
We're off to a good start. They have $30.
Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. How much of your $30 will you try?
15.
15. What is the capital city of Iraq? IRAQ. Iraq. Take a stab. I'm sorry, it's Baghdad. That was a tough one.
They now have $15.
All right, you've got $15. Here's your third question. How much of the 15 will you try?
10.
What is the capital city of the Republic of Israel?
Tel
Aviv. Tel Aviv is right.
Well, they're on their way again. They have $25.
All right, you've got $25. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 25 you going to risk?
20.
20.
What is the capital city of Greece?
Athens.
Athens is right.
And they wound up with $45, Groucho. And on top of that, they said the secret word, so they got an extra $100. And that means the usher and the soda fountain girl with $115 get the chance at the $2,000 question.
The name Elgin American means the very finest quality, designing, finish, and craftsmanship. The best value. In exquisite compacts, gorgeous simulated pearls, magnificent dresser sets, magic action lighters, wondrous lighter cases, distinguished cigarette cases, handsome military sets, fascinating musical humidors. For thrilling prestige gifts, always buy Elgin American.
And here's the winning couple, Groucho, the usher and the soda fountain girl.
Well, back again to try for $2,000, eh? Good luck, and I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so talk it over thoroughly and no help from the audience, please. Here it is. The East and the West were finally linked together when a golden spike was driven at Promontory Point, completing the first transcontinental railroad. In what state is Promontory Point? Mr. Maloof, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Wyoming.
Oh, I'm sorry. The correct answer is Utah. Oh! So that means the big question next week will be worth $2,500.
But for beating our other couples, Groucho, they each received the amazing new Apollo 16mm movie projector to show Hollywood sound movies and the moving pictures you take yourself.
And in addition, you received those lovely gifts from Elgin American, and you won $115. That makes it a very profitable evening all around. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
The Elgin American Show, You Bet Your Life, is a John Goodell production. Transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Remember, next week's big question pays $2,500. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx, presented by the creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, and finest dresser sets, Elgin American.
You know, all of us can't be at the Union Station to help travelers in distress, and all of us can't help children at day nurseries. Those things and thousands of other services are done for us by the community chest. That's why your red feather pledge this year should be large enough to cover all these needed services. Good night, folks. Have you looked at your compact lately?
Dr. IQ, the mental banker. Presenting Dr. IQ. Smart
Bars Incorporated, makers of America's most enjoyable candy bars, bring you another half hour of fun with your genial master of wit and information, Dr. I.Q., the mental banker. And for your enjoyment always, we invite you to try the new Dr. I.Q. candy bar. Stop at your favorite candy counter tonight or tomorrow and discover for yourself its fine taste blend. From the first exciting bite to the last delicious flavor that lingers in your mouth, we know you will agree that this fine candy is wholesome, nourishing enjoyment. For its blend of rich, pure milk chocolate, crisp, roasted peanuts, snowy white nougat, and smooth, creamy caramel has met with instant approval from the thousands who have tasted its luscious goodness. Treat yourself to this new candy thrill tonight or tomorrow. Remember, for the answer to your taste question, eat a Dr. I.Q. candy bar. And now, here is that wise man with a friendly smile and the cash for your correct answers, Dr. I.Q. Thank you, Mr. Anthony, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My assistants are stationed throughout the audience with portable microphones, which will enable members of the theater audience to remain in their seats while answering the questions I ask from the stage. And may I present those assistants? Ed Reimer's on my right downstairs.
Thank you, Doctor.
Ward Benton in the center aisle downstairs.
Thank you, Doctor.
Pat Hill on my left downstairs.
Thank you, Doctor.
Ken Powell in the right balcony.
Thank you, Doctor.
Charlie Lewis in the center balcony.
Thank you, Doctor.
And Bill Mayhew in the left balcony.
Thank you, Doctor.
And so to our first contestant of the evening, Ed Reimer's on my right downstairs.
I have a gentleman, Doctor.
15 silver dollars to that gentleman with the correct answer to this one. Many American youths are answering their country's call by enlisting in the Army Air Corps. To enlist now, you may be between the ages of 18 and 26, single or married, and without formal education. Now, one of the most famous names connected with the Army Air Corps is its West Point of the Air. What is its name, and where is it located? No prompting, please.
Mitchell Field, New York.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. That's a good try, but I think you'd find the west point of the air is Randolph Field in Texas. Put a box of Dr. I.Q. candy to that gentleman, and 2 tickets to that week's production here at Chase Buffalo Theater in Buffalo, New York. Two-faced woman with Greta Garbo, and now Ward Fenton in the center aisle downstairs.
I have a gentleman, Doctor.
12 silver dollars for the answer to this one. In the popular comic strip The Timid Soul by H.T. Webster, what is the name of its principal character? The Timid Soul. No prompting, please.
Sorry, I can't think of it.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I think you'd find it Casper Milk Toast, wouldn't you? But a box of Dr. I.Q. candy to that gentleman, and 2 tickets to next week's production here at Chase Buffalo Theater in Buffalo. Pat Hill on my left downstairs.
I have a gentleman, Doctor.
19 silver dollars to that gentleman for this one. An engraver is commissioned to engrave a cube of metal. He is to engrave as many of the cube's surfaces as possible, but no 2 engraved surfaces may touch. For his work, he is to be paid $10 for each surface he engraves. Under his instructions, how much will he be paid?
Would you repeat that, Doctor, please?
Yes, I'll be happy to repeat that, sir. An engraver is commissioned to engrave a cube of metal. He is to engrave as many of the cube's surfaces as possible, but no 2 engraved surfaces may touch. And for his work, he is to be paid $10 for each surface he engraves. Now, under those instructions, how much will he be paid?
I'm sorry, Doctor. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't you want to try on it? Remember, no 2 surfaces may touch. $10 for each surface.
Oh.
5 seconds, please, sir. Want to try?
3.
3? Oh, I'm sorry. It's 2. $20. Only 2 surfaces can be engraved without touching another surface. But a box of Dr. I.Q. candy to that gentleman. Thanks for trying. And 2 tickets to next week's production of Chase Buffalo. Now Ken Powell in the right balcony.
I have a lady, Doctor.
16 silver dollars to that lady for this one. The Pan-American Conference of the Nations of the 2 American continents is now meeting to discuss united plans against the Axis. In what South American city is this important conference being held?
Rio de Janeiro?
Rio de Janeiro. 16 silver dollars to that lady.
Your name and address, please.
Cornelia Handler, 126 Moselle Street, Buffalo, New York.
Thank you. Congratulations to you as our first winner on tonight's program, Charlie Lyons in the center balcony.
I have a gentleman, Doctor.
21 silver dollars for this one. On the Liberty Head nickel, there are 13 stars surrounding the head. Now, how many points has each of these stars? No prompting, please.
5 stars?
No, there are 13 stars. How many points?
Oh, I see.
How many points on each star? No prompting, please. 5 seconds. Time's almost up.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. I think you'd find it 6 points on each star. But a box of Dr. IQ candy to that gentleman. 2 tickets to next week's production here at State Buffalo Theater. Now, Bill Mayhew and the Left Out.
I have a lady, Doctor.
For tonight's program, the clues for our biographical sketch of a famous personality were sent in by Mr. Michael Lang of 716 Wallace Street, Erie, Pennsylvania. The judges could choose only the single entry they felt was presented in the most interesting manner. But since a number of you suggested the same personality, the makers of Dr. IQ Candy are going to send a box of the new Dr. IQ candy bars to each of the other contestants, sending in a sketch last week before midnight Thursday on the personality chosen for tonight. For using his information, the makers of Dr. IQ candy bars are going to send to Mr. Michael Lang a check for $250. Now, if you can correctly identify the personality I'm describing after the first clue is given, I'll give you 75 silver dollars. Of course, the longer it takes you to identify him, the less your reward. But if your reward decreases, we will add all that you missed to the $250 Mr. Michael Lang will receive. Are you ready now for your first clue?
Yes.
$75. He was born in Easttown Township, Pennsylvania, on New Year's Day, 1745, and is remembered as a reckless and brave soldier in our American Revolution.
I don't know, Doctor.
All right, $60. In school, his studies came second to his love of playing soldier with his classmates, thus upsetting the plans of his teachers. Five seconds, please. All right, make a try.
The next time I will.
All right, $50. Later, he became a surveyor and worked for Benjamin Franklin, surveying land in Nova Scotia. 5 seconds, please, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
All right, $40. A true patriot, he was made a colonel in the Army when the American Revolution started and served with valor in the Quebec campaign. No prompting, please. 5 seconds. All right.
I'm sorry.
$30. He fought with reckless bravery and complete disregard for danger in such battles as Brandywine, Germantown, Monmouth, and Yorktown. There's your fifth clue. 5 seconds, please.
Would you repeat that last over, please?
He fought with reckless bravery and complete disregard for danger in such battles as Brandywine, Germantown, Monmouth, and Yorktown. 5 seconds, please, ma'am. Time's almost up on that one. $25.
I'm sorry.
All right, $25. Two of his most daring exploits were the dash through enemy lines with supplies for Washington's forces at Valley Forge and his storming and capture of Stony Point in a daring night attack. 5 seconds. No prompting, please. Number 6. That's the sixth clue. Time's almost up on that clue. All right, number 7, $20. After the war, he served in the Pennsylvania legislature and in 1792 was appointed to command the American Army. 5 seconds, please, ma'am. I'm sorry, I'll have to call time. $15 silver for this one. In 1793, when trouble arose with the Indian tribes in the Northwest Territory, he defeated them at the famous Battle of the Fallen Timbers. He died at Erie, Pennsylvania, December 15th, 1796. No prompting, please. 5 seconds.
General Custard?
General Custard? No, but thanks for trying.
Sure.
Now, here's $10 silver, your last clue. His first name was Anthony, and because of his reckless bravery, he was nicknamed Mad Anthony. No prompting, please. Mad Anthony. 5 seconds. Oh, I'm I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll have to call time. If you could find a General Anthony Wayne, Mad Anthony Wayne, put a box of Dr. IQ candy to that lady and 2 tickets to next week's production here at James Buffalo Theater in Buffalo, New York. Consequently, $325 will be sent to Mr. Michael Lang of 716 Wallace Street, Erie, Pennsylvania, for sending in the winning sketch on General Anthony Wayne. A box of the new Dr. IQ candy bars will be sent to each of you also sending in a sketch on Mad Anthony Wayne last week before midnight Thursday.
If you would like to enter our biographical contest, simply send in a brief sketch of a famous personality with 12 Dr. IQ candy bar wrappers. The judges will select the most interesting entry from which Dr. IQ will formulate the clues and award the winning contestant $250. We will add to the $250 whatever amount the theater contestant fails to win from his $75 award in trying to identify the personality. All entries become the property of Mars Incorporated, and the decision of the judges will be final. Entries must be postmarked not later than midnight Thursday to be eligible for the following broadcast. Address your entries to Dr. IQ, 919 North Michigan, Chicago, Illinois. Now, here is Dr. IQ.
Thank you, Alan C. Anthony.
Ed Reimer's on my right downstairs.
A lady in the standing audience, Doctor.
11 silver dollars to that lady in the standing audience for the answer to this one. Is the British stronghold of Singapore located on the mainland, on a peninsula, or on an island? No prompting, please. Singapore.
Can you repeat that, Doctor?
Yes, it's Singapore. Singapore, is it on a mainland, a peninsula, or an island? 5 seconds, please.
Island.
It's on an island just off the Malayan Peninsula, surrounded by water. Pay that lady 11 silver dollars.
Your name and address, please.
Mrs. Beatrice Humphreys, 41 Lawrence Place, Buffalo, New York.
Thank you, and congratulations to you. Now, Ward Benton in the center aisle downstairs.
I have a lady, Doctor.
I'll give you $15 in United States defense stamps if you can tell me which of the following was not one of our famous Revolutionary War generals. Washington, Wayne, Burgoyne, Schuyler.
Schuyler?
Schuyler, oh, I'm sorry. Schuyler was a very famous Revolutionary War general. I think you'd find a General Burgoyne. He was an English general, not one of our generals. But a box of Dr. IQ candy to that lady, and 2 tickets to next week's production of Chase Buffalo Theater, Pat Hill on my left downstairs. 14 silver dollars for this one. I'm going to quote 3 lines from a famous song of a branch of our armed forces. And I want you to give me the 4th line. Now, here are the first 3. First to fight for right and freedom and to keep the honor clean. We are proud to claim the title. Now, what is the next line? 5 seconds, please.
We are Americans. Will you read it?
Yes, I'll be happy to. First to fight for right and freedom and to keep the honor clean. We are proud to claim the title.
Americans.
Americans. Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks for trying. That's a good answer, but not quite the one that fits that 4th line. I think you'll find it. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. Put a box of Dr. IQ candy to that gentleman and 2 tickets for next week's production of Chase Buffalo Theater, Ken Powell on the right balcony.
I have a gentleman, Doctor.
Suppose you've known so many girls you've forgotten a lot of their names. I'll give you some clues as to where they were or are, and you tell me, according to familiar songs or books, the girl's name. Now, for example, the one you left when you came from Alabama was Susanna. Now, here we go, and I'll pay you 5 silver dollars a name. This one is over the ocean. No prompting, please. Over the ocean. 5 seconds. For $5.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Now, give him a chance. This one used to live in our alley. No prompting. What was it?
Sally.
All right, Sally. No, really, folks, don't everybody say it. Let him try. All right, here's the 3rd one now. This one doesn't live here anymore.
Annie.
Annie, all right. Now, here's a good one. This one lives on Sunnybrook Farm. 5 seconds, please. Time is almost up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll have to call time. You got 2 of them. I think you'll find that one's Rebecca. Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. And, of course, the first one was Bonnie. Bonnie lies over the ocean. You got 2 of them. Pay that gentleman 10 silver dollars.
Your name and address, please.
William Palmer,
526 Minnesota Avenue, Buffalo, New York.
Thank you. Congratulations to you. Now, Charlie Lewis in the center balcony. Once more, we come to the right and wrong portion of the program in which members of the theater audience will answer yes or no on their tally cards to the 9 right and wrong statements sent in last week by the radio audience. We take this occasion to announce that there were no tally card winners last week. Therefore, last week's Mastermind Award of $100 will be added to this week's award, making a total of $200, which tonight's theater audience will compete for in answering this week's right and wrong statements. Now, I'll give you the correct answers to last week's right and wrong statements, and in just a moment, Mr. Anthony will tell you and our radio audience how you may win $50 to $150. These are the answers to last week's statements. In the language of printers, a screamer is a term used to mean exclamation point. The watt and kilowatt are units of electromotive power, not force. The island of Ceylon is a leading producer of rubber. In the Postal Service, star routes are so called from the star used to designate them in postal publications. In the term pigeon English, the word pigeon is a Chinese corruption of the English word business. The gunboat system to provide a fleet of gunboats for coast defense was first proposed by President Jefferson, not President Madison. A bannock is a type of unleavened bread, not a hill or mound found in Scotland. On the Beaufort wind scale, the highest strength of wind is indicated as hurricane, not pole gale. And to medieval geographers, Japan was known as Cipango. And now those of you in the radio audience who would like to win $50 to $150 by furnishing the 9 right and wrong statements the theater audience will answer next week may hear the rules of the contest if you will listen closely to Mr. Anthony.
You may win $50 to $150 by furnishing the 9 statements to be answered yes or no by the theater audience next week. Just send in as many sets of 3 statements each as you wish, enclosing a Dr. IQ candy bar wrapper for each statement. The judges will select 3 sets of 3 statements each, awarding $50 for each 3 statements. The winners will be announced Monday night, and your check will be mailed by that time. All entries become the property of Mars Incorporated, and the decision of the judges will be final. Entries to be used next Monday night must be postmarked not later than midnight Thursday. Address your entries to Dr. IQ, 919 North Michigan, Chicago, Illinois. And now again, here is Dr. IQ.
Thanks, Alan. The contestants sending in the winning sets of right and wrong statements selected for tonight's program are Mr. Orion Harper of Box 42, Luders, Texas. The makers of Dr. IQ candy bars have mailed Mr. Harper a check in the amount of $100 for his 2 sets of 3 statements each. Congratulations, Mr. Harper, and congratulations to Mrs. Ruth N. Watkins of Colonial Village, Arlington, Virginia, for her winning set of 3 statements. A check for $50 has been mailed her. And here are the statements for tonight's program. I shall repeat each statement. Number 1, the Lafayette Escadrille first fought at Saratoga in the American Revolution. The Lafayette Escadrille first fought at Saratoga in the American Revolution. Number 2, the historic Appian Way connected the 7 hills of ancient Rome. The historic Appian Way connected the 7 hills of ancient Rome. Number 3, Simon Lake is the largest body of water in the lake region of England. Simon Lake is the largest body of water in the lake region of England. Number 4, the Philosopher's Stone is a famous Grecian monument on Mount Olympus. The Philosopher's Stone is a famous Grecian monument on Mount Olympus. Number 5, in boxing, a rabbit punch is 2 quick blows, a right to the head and a left to the body of the opponent. In boxing, a rabbit punch is 2 quick blows, a right to the head and a left to the body of the opponent. Number 6, the Hawaiian Islands were formerly called the Society Islands. The Hawaiian Islands were formerly called the Society Islands. Number 7, artesian wells get their name from the part of France where they were first extensively used. Artesian wells get their name from the part of France where they were first extensively used. Number 8, any water with salt in it is called brine. Any water with salt in it is called brine. And the last one, number 9, Aguinaldo was the famous Apache Indian chieftain known for his frontier raids. Aguinaldo was a famous Apache Indian chieftain known for his frontier raids. Now, ladies and gentlemen, kindly pass your tally cards toward the center aisles as quickly and quietly as possible in order that we may continue with the regular portion of the program as rapidly as possible. Bill Mayhew in the left balcony.
I have a gentleman, Doctor.
All of us recognize, sir, the importance of radio in the world today. Now, I'll pay you 16 silver dollars if you can tell me approximately how many radios, including automobile radios, there are in the United States today. Now, is it 570,000? Is it 5,700,000? Or is it 57 million?
I'd say 5 million.
5 million? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I think you'd find it closer to 57 million radios in the United States today. But a box of 24 Dr. IQ candy bars to that gentleman. And 2 tickets to next week's production of Chase Buffalo Theater, Buffalo, New York. Ed Reimer's on my right downstairs.
I have a gentleman, Doctor.
Once more we come to that little monument to memory, the Thought Twister, which I'll say one time and one time only. Now, if you can repeat it exactly as I say it, sir, 35 silver dollars will be your reward. Are you ready for the Thought Twister?
I'm ready, Doctor.
All right, here it is. Everyone be quiet and give our contestant a real chance. We'll slap the Jap off the map, said Cap to Hap. We will slap the Jap off the map, Cap. To him, said Hap.
We slapped the Jap off the map, said Hap. No, I'll take the candy bars, Doctor.
Oh, all right, fine. I think you'll find it. We'll slap the Jap off the map, said Cap to Hap. We will slap the Jap off the map, Cap to him, said Hap. But pay that gentleman a box of Dr. IQ candy bars and 2 tickets to next week's production of Chase Buffalo. Now, Ward Fenton in the center aisle downstairs.
I have a gentleman in the standing audience, Doctor.
I'll give that gentleman in the standing audience one $25 United States defense bond if he can tell me who has been named by our president to head our war production board.
Donald Nelson.
Donald M. Nelson, a $25 defense bond to that gentleman.
Your name and address, please.
William Glower, Attica, New York.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations, and thanks for being with us tonight, Mr. Glower. Now, Pat Hill on my left downstairs.
I have a gentleman, Doctor.
Here are 2 well-known proverbs in a slightly scrambled state. I'll pay you 16 silver dollars if you can unscramble them and give them to me in their correct order. Here they are, scrambled up. Before darkest dawn, he laughs. It's always the best who laughs last.
He who laughs last laughs best.
All right.
And,
No prompting, please.
It's always lightest before the dawn.
Well,
always darkest before the dawn.
16 silver dollars to that gentleman.
Your name and address, please.
Francis Finley, 3063 Harlem Road, Chickawaga.
Well, thank you, sir. And thanks for being with us tonight. Now, Ken Powell in the right balcony.
I have a lady, Doctor.
A certain character named Peter Piper gathered an amount of pickled peppers. Now, I'll pay you 8 silver dollars if you can tell me the amount, and 12 more silver dollars if you can say the famous verse without stumbling. All right?
Peter...
How much, first of all, what was the amount of the peppers that he picked?
A peck.
A peck, all right. That's $8 you've earned. Now let's see if you can earn 20. 12 more. Let's see if you can say it.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
Well, now you... No, you only got half of it. You got the first line and the last line. Now, there are 2 lines in between, remember? Try it again.
Peter Piper picked a pickle...
All right, go ahead.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
All right. A peck.
Where's the peck? Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I think you're leaving out those middle 2 lines. It goes something like this. I'll try it. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, a peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? But a box of Dr. IQ came to that lady, and 2 tickets to next week's production of Chase Buffalo Theater in Buffalo, New York. Now, Charlie Lewis in the center balcony.
I have a gentleman, Doctor.
18 silver dollars for this one. You have received an invitation to visit several Hollywood studios, and on your tour of the lots, you meet 3 actors famous for their roles as Judge Hardy, Dr. Kildare, and Hopalong Cassidy. Now, what are the regular names of the trio you meet?
Would you name those, please?
Yes, I'll be happy to. Judge Hardy is first. No prompting, please.
I'm sorry, Doctor.
All right, how about Dr. Kildare? Who would that be? No prompting, please. Dr. Kildare. Well, Let's try Hopalong Cassidy. Who's Hopalong Cassidy in the movie? No prompting, please. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm awfully sorry, too, sir. I think you'll find Judge Hardy is Louis Stone, Dr. Kildare is Lou Ayres, and Hopalong Cassidy is Bill Boyd. But a box of Dr. IQ candy to that gentleman, and 2 tickets for next week's production stage Buffalo Theater. Bill Mayhew in the left balcony.
I have a lady, Doctor.
$15 silver to that lady for this one. The ambassador to the United States from England was first known to the world as Edward Wood. Later, he was known as Lord Irwin, Viceroy of India. I'll pay you $15 silver if you can tell me by what title we now best know Edward Wood, the English ambassador to the United States. By what title do we know him? 5 seconds, please, ma'am. No prompting?
Would you repeat that, please?
Yes, I'll be happy to, ma'am. How do we best know the ambassador from England to the United States? By what title do we know him? 5 seconds.
Ambassador Wood?
Ambassador Wood? No, that isn't the title that we know him best by. His name is Wood, but I think the title we know him best by is Lord Halifax. But a box of Dr. IQ candy to that lady, and 2 tickets to next week's production here at Shay's Buffalo Theater, and now it's Eddie Reimers on my right downstairs.
I have a lady, Doctor.
$13 silver to that lady for this one. Does an average hen lay 50 eggs a year, 250 eggs a year, or 550 eggs a year? The average hen. No prompting, please.
50.
50? Oh, I'm sorry. I think you'd find it closer to 250 eggs a year for the average hen. But a box of 24 Dr. IQ candy bars to that lady, and 2 tickets to next week's production here at Shay's Buffalo. Now, Ward Fenton in the center aisle downstairs.
I have a gentleman, Doctor.
Because Napoleon needed cash to carry on his world-conquering schemes, he made an $11,250,000 deal with the red-haired, violin-playing president of the United States. Now, I'll pay you $10 silver if you can name the red-haired, violin-playing president, and 10 more silver if you can name the deal that Napoleon paid $11,250,000 for. What was the deal first? No prompting?
Louisiana Purchase.
All right, the Louisiana Purchase. Now, who was that red-haired, violin-playing president? 5 seconds, please, sir.
Madison?
Oh, not Madison. I'm sorry, sir. Thanks for trying. I think you'd find it Thomas Jefferson, but you got half of it. $10 silver to that gentleman.
Your name and address, please.
Tower, 115 Florida Street, Buffalo.
Thank you. Congratulations. And now, thanks to you, ladies and gentlemen, especially to you at home behind your radios and to you folks here in the theater audience. And now may I present Alan C. Anthony.
And so we bring to a close another half hour of fun with Dr. IQ, the mental banker. The Dr. IQ program will be heard next week at the same time from the stage of Shay's Buffalo Theater in Buffalo, New York. In the meantime, when friends drop in or the children return from play, why not have a box of 24 delicious Dr. IQ bars on your pantry shelf? This enjoyable confection with its appetizing taste blend will bring a thrill to anyone who enjoys wholesome, nourishing candy. And a box of delicious Dr. IQ bars is a perfect gift to send to your favorite soldier, sailor, or Marine. They, too, appreciate its thrilling goodness. Remember, for the answer to your taste question, eat a Dr. IQ candy bar. The Dr. IQ program, sponsored by Mars Incorporated, makers of Dr. IQ candy bars, will be heard next Monday night from the stage of Shay's Buffalo Theater in Buffalo, New York, at the same time and over these same stations. Do your part in fighting infantile paralysis by giving your dimes and dollars to this worthy cause. Help celebrate our President's Diamond Jubilee birthday by contributing to this great and humane crusade. Here's today, Alan C. Anthony speaks. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
It's win, place, or show.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's radio's newest thrill-packed racetrack game, Win, Place, or Show. The odds are posted and the ponies are champing at their bits. And now here's America's #1 turf tout and our own personal handicap, Eddie Marr.
suckers, you like to lay some lettuce on the nose of an egg? You say you need some money cash. You say you'd like to win some dough. Think no more about it, chums. Tell you what I'm going to do. Well, folks, I've got the latest dope on all the nags, so take my tips and pick a winner. I see our jockeys are all already have been chosen, so let's go. It's win, place, or show. Now, here's how it works. You contestants or jockeys pick the horse you like from the names and odds posted up there on the tote board. The name of the horse will indicate what the questions will be about, and the odds will give you an inkling as to how tough the questions are to answer. Naturally, the bigger the odds, the harder the questions. So after picking your horse, it's up to you to decide whether to go for win, place, or show. You must answer all 3 questions right for win money, 2 for place money, or 1 for show money. After choosing your position, you must bring your horse home in that position or better. However, in any case, you only get paid for the position you choose. If you lose, the posted odds on that horse go into the purse for the American handicap at the end of the show. Well, folks, there goes the call to post in the first event, so let's meet our first jockey.
And here she is, Eddie, ready to bring home a winner, Mrs. Agnes Hamilton.
How do you do, Mrs. Hamilton? Welcome to Win, Place, or Show. Step right up to the rail. What do you say?
Hello.
That's the idea. Where you from, Mrs. Hamilton?
Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Ann Arbor, Michigan. Boy, you certainly said that with a lot of vim and vigor. That's a very pretty town. That is a college town, isn't it, Ann Arbor?
Yes, it is.
What college is there? What's the name?
University of Michigan.
University of Michigan. How long have you been out here, Mrs. Hamilton?
2 years and a half.
2 years and a half. Do you like it out here?
Oh, I just love it.
You love it. What do you do out here?
I'm not working right now, but I am a housewife.
What do you mean you're not working?
Well, I mean, I'm not working for money.
You are not working for money?
No.
Yours is a labor of love, is that right? Why am I so poetical this evening? Is your family out here with you, Miss Hamilton?
My husband and my mother.
What did you do before you came out here?
I was a cashier in a grocery store.
Cashier in a grocery store. And did you like it?
Yes.
You did like it. You had a good time. Well,
I met a lot of interesting people.
is that where you met your husband? In the
Yes.
5 and 10? I mean, in the grocery store?
Yes, it was.
That's where you met your husband? Sneaking out with the groceries, huh? Well, that's fine. Have you taken a look at the tote board up there, Mrs. Hamilton?
Yes.
And have you decided what horse you would like to ride this evening?
Profit.
You would like to ride Profit. Profit, the questions pertain to weather-wise. Profit pays $25 to win, $20 for place, and $18 for show. What kind of a prophet are you, Mrs. Hamilton?
Place.
No. What kind of a prophet?
Oh, I'm
Do
sorry.
you predict things? Don't be sorry. You're here for a good time. That's the idea.
Well, you see, we have all kinds of weather in Michigan. And so I thought maybe I make a good profit.
Well, that's very unlike California. We only have one kind out here. Sunshine. Dry and liquid. Do you know anything about the weather, Mrs. Hamilton? You know, I mean, can you predict whether it's going to rain? Will your feet hurt? Do you have a corn or a bunion or anything like that that says, I know it's going to rain tomorrow, my bunion hurts me?
Yes, it does.
Well, I would like to go out and play golf tomorrow. Could you tell me if it's going to rain?
The paper says it will.
Paper says it will, but your bunion says it won't.
Yeah.
All right. You, you think you know enough about the questions to bring this horse home first? You have to answer 3 questions to win, 2 for place, and 1 for show. It pays $25 to win, $20 for place, and $18 for show.
I will try place.
You will try place. That means you must answer 2 questions out of 3 to bring this horse home in the money. All right, here we go. Down past the grandstand, around the first turn. Would you say it is true or false that it is sometimes too cold to snow? Would you say that it's true or false that it is sometimes too cold to snow? Which would you say it is, true or false? That it is sometimes too cold to snow. Don't be afraid. Make an answer because you still have 2 more questions coming to you.
True.
I'm sorry, it is false. The flakes may freeze on the way down and become sleet, but they do start out as snow. All right, you're ahead by 1 length. Now here you go around the track, down past the backstretch, and here is your second question. Would you say that it's true or false that rainbows can be seen at night? Would you say it is true or false that rainbows can be seen at night? Do you think it's true or it's false? Can they be seen at night or can't they?
Yes.
That's absolutely true. They can be seen at night. Moonlight rays passing through drops of water. Okay, Mrs. Hamilton, you're ahead by a length. You're coming into the home stretch, and here is your third question. Would you say it's true or false that Mississippi floods can usually be predicted 6 months in advance? Would you say it's true or false? What is he doing back there?
Well, let's see. I would say it would be true.
It is absolutely true, and you win the money. It is true because the calculations of rainfall and the ability of the soil to absorb the water. Mrs. Hamilton, you win for place. You answer 2 questions out of 3. You win the $20, and you qualify for the American Handicap at the end of the show.
And right now, Eddie, I'd like you to meet our next jockey, Mary Green.
How do you do, Mary? Welcome to Win Place a Show. Who's doing that? Just a minute, fellas, please. You should no whistles or cat calls. Mary is a very lovely young lady, and we don't like to have that sort of thing here, please. Boy! Where are you from, Mary?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. What branch of the service you in, Mary?
The waves.
You are in the waves.
Yes.
How long have you been in the waves?
1 year.
1 year. Wonderful. Have you been stationed here in this country, or have you been out of the country?
I've been in the country.
You've been here all the time. That's what we want. We want to keep the girls and boys home as much as possible. What did you do before you went in the waves, Mary?
I worked for the Amarada Oil Company.
For the who?
Amarada Oil Company.
Amarada Oil Company. What do they do?
What do they do?
Yeah. They sell oil?
Yes.
Ah, that's the idea. That's what I want to find out. Do you think you will go back to that company after you're discharged from the waves, Mary?
No, sir.
You don't think you will? Have you, since you've been in the service, have you, they taught you things that you might use after you come out of the service then?
Yes, sir.
They have? What have they taught you?
Well, that's a deep, dark secret.
In other words, Mary, you told me to mind my own business, and you are absolutely right. I love it. All right, have you taken a look at the tote board up there, Mary?
Yes, sir, I have.
All right. What horse would you like to ride up there this evening, Mary?
Short order.
Short order. Short order pertains to food. Short order pays $40 to win, $35 for place, and $30 for show. What do you know about short orders, Mary, that made you pick that horse?
What do I know about short orders?
Yeah, short order.
Not very much, but I'm going to try very hard to learn something about it.
You're going to try very hard to learn something about it.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mary. As long as you, do you think you know enough about food that you could bring this horse home into win, or should I give you a little advice? Which?
Oh, you give me some advice, please.
I'll give you some advice. All right, Mary. Now I tell you what I'm going to do. You said you didn't know an awful lot about short orders, but you'd like to learn something. Well, if you don't know an awful lot about short orders, do you think you should try to win with this horse, or should you try to bring him into some other position? What do you think? Now, I have it straight from this horse's mouth that, I can't stand here looking in your eyes like this, Mary. I'm just dumbfounded. Maybe I
shouldn't try for a win first, right?
Well, I'm not going to tell you where you should go, but if you don't know an awful lot about the questions and you don't know an awful lot about short orders, what do you think you should do? Go for place, to win, or to show? What do you think you can do with this horse?
Win.
You're going to win. That's the idea. All right, Mary, you were going out to win. You're going out for that $40. And that means you must answer 3 questions out of 3 to ride home in the Geetus. All right, here we go. Waiting the post down past the grandstand, around the face train, and here is your first question. Which part of asparagus do you eat? Which part of asparagus do you eat?
The tips.
The tips. Well, what part, where do the tips come from? What are the tips a part of? You know, the thing. What are the tips?
The stalk.
The stalk is absolutely. Don't let me frighten you, Mary. I'm so happy when you win that I just jump for joy because I'm on your side. All right, Mary, you're ahead by 1 lengthy down past the backstretch. And here is your next question. Which part of a tomato do you eat? Which part of a tomato plant do you eat? Which part of the tomato plant? Now, there's the big plant growing up. What part of the plant do you eat? What grows on that plant? What grows on the plant?
The vegetable.
Of course it is. And what is that vegetable? A tomato. And what is that tomato? Is it a fruit or a vegetable? What is it, Mary?
Tomato is
Take it easy, think. 1, 2, go ahead. Take your time.
Why?
You're ahead by, You're ahead by a length. Take it easy now. Take it easy. Is it a vegetable or is it a fruit? Which is it, Mary? Which is it, Mary?
A fruit.
Fruit is a... Mary, you're absolutely sensational. You're ahead by 2 lengths. You're coming down the home stretch, and here's your third question. Which part of a potato do you eat? Which part of a potato do you eat?
The inside of it.
Of course, every... Mary, you're absolutely right. Everybody eats the inside of a potato. You went to win. You answered 3 questions out of 3. You win the $40, and you qualify for the American Handicap at the end of the show. And we... The inside of a potato, Mary, the inside of a potato, in case anybody asks you again, is the tuber. T-U-B-E-R. Doesn't make any difference. You got the $40. That's the important thing.
And here's our jockey number 3, Eddie, Mr. Harry Kowski.
How do you do, Mr. Kowski? Welcome to Win Placer Show. Step right up there in front of the rail. That's the idea, Mr. Kowski. You're not nervous or afraid of anything, are you?
Not nervous.
You're not nervous. That's the idea.
At my age, I'm not nervous.
Your what, sir?
In my age, I'm not nervous.
Your nature is not nervous.
You see me, I am man. I am man by 65 years.
You are what, sir?
By 65 years.
By 65 years, you're not nervous.
No.
That's what
I'm a grandfather.
You're a grandfather?
Yes.
How many grandchildren?
2. Three, I got it.
Well, now, would you make up your mind?
3 children, 3 grandchildren.
3 grandchildren.
And 6 children, I got it.
And 6 children.
4 daughters and 2 sons.
3 more, you could have had a baseball team.
No.
Where are you from, Mr. Kowski?
New York.
What
Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York.
Flatbush.
Flatbush. How long have you been out here, Mr. Kowski?
Here about 10 months.
10 months. And how does it compare with Flatbush?
Very nice. Very good.
You mean out here?
Here is good and Flatbush is good.
Well, how do you like it out here, Mr.
Yeah,
Kowski?
very nice. My children, they're crazy for Los Angeles.
They
My 2 daughters. I got 2 daughters, they're crazy for Los Angeles.
And they like it out here?
Oh, very nice.
That's wonderful. Have you taken a look at the tote board up there, Mr. Kowski? Take a look at the board up there and pick a horse. What would you like to ride up there this evening?
Tracy.
You would like to ride Choosy. Say it right. I didn't hear the microphone.
Choosy.
Choosy pertains to take your pick. It pays $18 to win, $16 for place, and $14 to show. Why did you happen to pick that horse, Mr. Kowski?
Because I like the name.
Because you like the name. That's about... Listen, there are thousands of horse players all over the country. Some pick a horse with a pin, and some pick it because they like their name. So your choice is as good as anybody else's. How are you on picking things, Mr. Kowski? Are you a good picker?
I don't know. Maybe I'm good, maybe not.
That's what we're here to
Because
find?
I can't say why. You see, maybe I say to you I'm good, or maybe I not be good. I say to you why. You see? That's what I tell you.
You have nothing to lose, Mr. Kowski, and everything to gain.
All right.
So you feel that you're a good picker.
That's what I think so.
You think so. Well, I've taken a look at these questions up here. They're not so tough. Perhaps if you feel you're a good picker, maybe you could bring this horse in to win. What do you think?
Maybe.
Well, what would you like to do? Would you like to ride it to win, to place, or to show? It pays $18 to win, $16 for place, and $14 for show. Where do you think you'd like to ride the horse? Where do you think you could bring him in? Do you think you can bring him in to win, or to place, or to show?
Maybe I can bring him in.
Where?
To the win.
To win? Well, that's wonderful.
I can't say why. You see, maybe I say to you I'm good, or maybe I not be good. I say to you why. You see? That's what I tell you.
You have nothing to lose, Mr. Kowski, and everything to gain.
All right.
So you feel that you're a good picker.
That's what I think so.
You think so. Well, I've taken a look at these questions up here. They're not so tough. Perhaps if you feel you're a good picker, maybe you could bring this horse in to win. What do you think?
Maybe.
Well, what would you like to do? Would you like to ride it to win, to place, or to show? It pays $18 to win, $16 for place, and $14 for show. Where do you think you'd like to ride the horse? Where do you think you could bring him in? Do you think you can bring him in to win, or to place, or to show?
Maybe I can bring him in.
Where?
To the win.
To win? Well, that's wonderful. Would you like me to help you up on this horse, Mr. Kowski? or do you think-
Anytime.
You think you can make it all by yourself?
Maybe, I don't know.
All right, sir. To win, that means you must answer 3 questions out of 3 to ride home in the Geetus. Now, hold right, here we go. These questions are all typed as to kingdom, vegetable, mineral, or animal, and you are to take a pick. All right, you're waiting the post now past the grandstand. Here is your first question. To what kingdom does oil belong? Vegetable, mineral, or animal?
Oil?
Yes.
Oil belongs to the vegetable. Well, you can, they make oil from vegetable.
Huh?
Oil, they make oil from vegetable.
Yes,
Well,
they absolutely do make oil from
Yeah.
vegetable. You're absolutely right, Mr. Kowski. They make oil for vegetable, and they make it for mineral, too. All right, you're ahead by 1 length. You're going down the back stretch, and here is your second question. To what kingdom does coal belong? Vegetable, mineral, or animal?
Coal?
Coal. What kingdom does that belong to?
Coal is mineral.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kowski. Coal belongs to vegetable. It is formed by partial decomposition of vegetable matter. I'm sorry, you missed the question. But you also qualify for the American handicap at the end of the show. Good luck to you, Mr. Kowski.
Mr. Martin Heffernan, I'd like you to meet the man who's going to help you bring home a winner, Eddie Mark.
How do you do, Mr. Heffernan? Step
All right.
right up here. How is that microphone for Mr. Heffernan? It's perfectly all right. Where you from, Mr. Heffernan?
Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
Seaside Heights, New Jersey. How long you been in the service, Mr. Heffernan?
20 months.
20 months. Have you been overseas?
No, thank God.
Nah. Say that again, right in there.
Thank God.
No, that's right.
I like this country.
Everybody should like this country. What did you do before you went in the service, Mr. Heffernan?
I was in the real estate insurance business.
And how'd you do?
Not bad.
Not bad. You think you go back into the same business when you get out of the service?
The business is still going on.
Right now, it's terrific, isn't it?
It's not bad.
It's very good. Did you learn things in the service you might want to use when you get out of the service? Do you think? I mean, besides.
That's what I was thinking of.
I knew. I could tell by that look in your eye.
No, I think I've learned a lot of things, and the next war I'll try to keep out of it.
Let's hope there isn't going to be any next war, Mr. Heffernan, huh? All right, if you take a look at the tote board up there, Mr. Heffernan.
I'll take smoker for place.
You will, right in here. You take
Smoker for place.
Smoker for place. You're not going to take any chances. Smoker means cigarette brands. It pays $16 to win, $14 for place, and $12 for show. What do you know about cigarette brands, Mr. Heffernan? Do you smoke a lot?
Lucky's, Camels, and Chesterfields.
Ouch. Lucky's, Camels, and Chesterfields? We ought to get something for doing that, shouldn't we? All right. You picked it for place. That means you must answer 2 questions out of 3 to ride home in the money. All right, here we go. Waiting the post down past the grandstand. Here's your first question. Whether there's a shortage or not, what cigarette would you walk a mile for?
A Camel.
Absolutely correct. You're ahead by a length. Here comes your next question. What cigarette would you smoke to retain your composure? When you are irritated and you're excited, you fall down.
Old Gold.
No. And
Rolling.
no. Now, just a second. And you fall down and somebody says, don't get excited. Light or what?
Be nonchalant, smoke a Murad.
Absolutely correct, Mr. Heffernan. You went to place, you answered 2 questions out of 3, and you rode home in the Geetus, and you collect $14, and you also qualify for the American handicap at the end of the show.
Eddie, here's Mrs. Carrie Kemperall, Sat 11 ready to ride home with the money.
How do you do, Mrs. Kempner?
How do you do?
Welcome to Win Place a Show.
Thank you.
Where are you from? Step right up to the rail.
Covington, Kentucky.
Covington, Kentucky.
Yes,
How
sir.
long have you been out here, Mrs. Kempner?
About 4 weeks.
About 4 weeks. How do you like it out here?
Oh, fine. This is my 4th trip out here.
This is your 4th trip out
Yes,
here.
sir.
What do you do, come out every year on a vacation?
No, every few years. I come out here.
Every few years. Well, I think you're certainly loyal to this climate out here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Coming from Kentucky, that's a very beautiful country out there, isn't it?
Yes, it is, I think.
And how do you like it here compared
Oh,
with...
well, I like it out here.
Step right up to the rail. That's the idea. And talk right in there, because we hope we've got millions of listeners sitting
Oh, I
home
hope
next
some
to
of
the
them
radio.
listen down there, too.
They're all listening to you in
I
Covington,
hope so.
Kentucky. Have you taken a look at the tote board up there, Mrs. Kemper?
I'll take Lady Killer.
You will take Lady Killer. Lady Killer pertains to Cherchez la Femme, which means find the woman. It pays $20 to win, $18 for place, and $16 for show.
I'll take place.
You will take place. All right, Mrs. Kempner, you made your own decision. You go for place. That means you must answer 2 questions out of 3 to ride home in the Mizuma. All right, you're waiting the post down past the grandstand on the first question. In that song, Frankie and Johnny, who was the woman? In the song, Frankie and Johnny, who was the woman?
Frankie.
Frankie is absolutely correct. That is absolutely right, Mrs. Kempner. Frankie was the woman in the song Frankie and Johnny. All right, you're ahead by 1 left. You're going down backstretch. And here is your next question. What is the feminine counterpart of bachelor? What is the...
Old maid.
What would you call an old maid?
Bachelor girl.
Well, there's something else besides a bachelor girl. You know it. Come on.
Modern woman.
Well, something else. All right, I'm sorry, Mrs. Kempner. You have another question. The feminine counterpart of bachelor is spinster.
Oh,
now,
yes,
you're
sure.
neck and neck with one horse. You're going past the grandstand, and you are turning for home. And here is your next question. What is the feminine counterpart of hero?
Heroine.
Heroine is absolutely correct. Mrs. Kempner, you went for place. You answered 2 questions out of 3. You get the $18, and you qualify for the American Handicap at the end of the show.
Eddie, I'd like you to meet our next jockey, Heron Stevens.
Harry, welcome. Heron Stevens. Heron, welcome to Win Placer Show. Step right up in front of the post rail. That's the idea. Where you from, Heron?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. How long have you been in the service, Heron?
4 years in January.
4 years in January. How long have you been overseas?
18 months.
18 months. What branch of the service you in?
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps. Do you expect to get out soon, or do you expect to be in?
I expect to get out in January.
You expect to get out in January. What did you do before you went in the service, Aaron?
Well, I was just about a jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades, that's all right. What do you expect to do when you get out of service?
Go to school.
Go back to school? Well, that's good. What special course? Are you taking anything special?
Well, I figure I'm taking electrical engineering.
Electrical engineering. Well, there's a big field for that, and you should do all right. Take a look at that tote board up there, Heron. What would you like to ride this evening?
Well, interpreter.
Interpreter. Interpreter means translations. It pays $35 to win, $30 for place, and $25 for show. What do you know about translations, Aaron?
Not a thing.
You don't know anything about translations? Why did you pick that horse?
I don't know anything about plays either.
You don't? Well, a fellow doesn't know anything about either of the categories, hasn't got much choice. All right, Heron, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You said you don't know anything about the category. Instead of going out to win, maybe you should go for some other place if you don't know too much about it. You might be able to have 1 or 2 questions correct, but you might not be able to answer all 3. What do you think you should do?
Place.
You would go for place. That means you only have to answer 2. Place, it pays $50, and let's see what we can do for you. You have to answer 2 questions to ride home in the Geetus. All right, here you go. Your first question. You're awaiting the post down past the grass stand. A mass of concreted material perennially rotating on its axis will not accumulate an accretion of bryophytic vegetation.
A rolling stone gathers no more.
Absolutely. All right, you have answered 1 question. You're ahead by 1 length. You're going down past the grandstand, and you want to change this phrase back to sense. Everything that coruscates with affluence is not ipso facto oris. Everything that coruscates with affluence is not ipso facto oris.
I didn't hear him.
Don't think you can answer it?
Give it to me once again.
All the things that coruscate with affluence is not ipso facto oris.
Oh, it's not gold to glitter.
Absolutely correct. You answer 2 questions out of 3 to ride home in the money. You get the $30 and you qualify for the American Handicap at the end of the show. Well, folks, the big moment has arrived. The event everyone has been waiting for, the American Handicap. The contestants are all lined up at the post. They're wearing jockey caps and a sign bearing the name of their horse, and they're all riding hobby horses. Now, I have a list of questions. As I call out the questions, the first contestant to shout out the name of his or her horse gets a chance to answer the question. If the answer is right, that jockey moves 1 length forward. Whoever crosses the finish line first or whoever is ahead at the end of the list wins the American Handicap purse, which tonight amounts to, how much is it? It is $43. All right, now here is a word of caution to you jockeys. Be sure you know the right answer before shouting the name of your horse. If you know the answer, shout the name of your horse, then we'll ask you what the question is. For if you win the chance to answer and the answer is wrong, you are disqualified from the race and you're sent back to the barn. All right, the horses are all lined up at the post. Here we go, and on with the American handicap questions. Here is your first question. Can cats see in the dark? Shout out the name. Short order, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, short order, they know. They can see better in semi-light than humans, but no animal can see in absolute darkness. I'm sorry, short order. You go back to the barn. Here's your next question. How many humps has a dromedary? How many humps has a dromedary? Lady killer.
2.
I'm sorry, lady killer. A dromedary has 1, and you go back to the barn. Here is your third question. Would you call a postcard a government card that requires no stamp? Would you call a post... Interpreter.
No.
What do you say?
I say that it requires a stamp.
He is absolutely correct. It does require a stamp. Interpreter, answer that question. He takes a step ahead of the field. He is now one length ahead. Here is your next one. What would wishes have to be for beggars to ride? What is it?
If wishes were horses, beggars would ride.
Interpreter answers that question. He is now 2 lengths ahead of the field. Here is your next question. What Britisher was called the uncrowned king of Arabia? What Britisher was called the uncrowned king of Arabia? Does anybody know it? Any horse want to take it out? All right. What American city was founded as Our Lady, Queen of the Angels? Smoker says he has...
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles takes a step forward, Smoker. All right, here's your next one. What direction is printed on nearly all book matches? What direction is printed on nearly all book matches? Smoker says he thinks he knows this one.
Close cover before striking.
That is absolutely correct, Smoker. He takes another step forward. Smoker and Interpreter neck and neck. They're in the first turn. All right. What language is spoken by more people than any other? Interpreter says he thinks he knows it. What is it?
English.
I'm sorry, Interpreter. It is Chinese. All right, Smoker is ahead. He wins the American handicap, which tonight is $43. Step right up here to the winning circle, Smoker. How much money did you win this evening?
I won $14, and this 43
40,
makes 57.
57. What are you going to do with that dough?
Take it out and spend it.
The judges are placing the wreath around the winner's neck. How does it feel to have $57 in such a fast time there?
Better than the Navy payday.
It's better than the Navy payday.
Definitely.
Let's see, you got that $57 in about, well, you got 43 of it in about, a minute and 4 seconds, didn't you? All right, Smoker. Well, here we go. Well, folks, the old racetrack has taken its last whipping for tonight. Next week, we'll be right back here at the paddock, leading on the same old rail and passing out a few more tips. Until then, so long, suckers. See ya at the races.
Show starring Eddie, Tell You What I'm Going to Do More, is produced and directed by Dwight Hauser and will return next week at the same time over most of these stations. Now, if you're in or near the Los Angeles area and you'd like to join us in a Sport of Kings, write Win, Place, or Show, American Broadcasting Company, Hollywood 28, California, and tickets will be mailed. So join us again next week. This is the American Broadcasting Company.